Quit like that.
Hey, look at it.
Are we
Hey,
on?
y'all.
That
It's
gun.
live.
That was odd.
Oh,
In the
that
words of
jumped
Turtle Man.
weird.
Words of Turtle Man, live action.
Well, it's saying we are, but like it's not showing anybody in here, and it jumped automatically to like what 20 seconds. I
Did
don't know if they can even.
you
Can you
didn't do an
guys see
intro,
us?
did you?
Hear us?
No, it ain't started on the unless it's button that far.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
an intro.
yeah.
Well, hey, can y'all see us in
That
chat?
was
Can y'all?
weird.
No, I'm looking at it with my phone. It's not.
Oh,
We're still backstage.
huh.
Oh, now we're live. Look
No,
at
we've been live for like a minute. It just now jumped to where it's showing people. That was really strange, y'all.
it. I don't know. Like I said, we like Turtle Man live action.
It's crazy.
Now, Hillary says she can't.
We cannot see you.
Yes, they can.
How
They
in the
can
world?
now.
Don't
I
listen to
don't
Hillary.
like flyers.
Don't listen. Hillary.
Yeah,
Hillary hits
they
them
can
things.
now. It took us a while.
No. It took Misty a while.
Well, it's true.
No, I'm kidding.
Hey, y'all, look, we jumped from 10 to 22 folks just Shazam. All it was.
Hillary said I lied. Oh yeah, sending alerts out.
We was
What's up, Murray?
cracking up before we came out, and it was so freaking funny. Oh man! So
Going back in time to warn you.
Roger, you made the daggum thumbnail, and it turned out awesome. Thank you, by the way, for that.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna take any credit. It's Grok3 on Twitter, on X. I typed in what I wanted, and it took 10 seconds.
I can't even pronounce all that, Roger.
It was easy. Let's put it that way.
No doubt.
Hey, everybody.
But you're welcome. I knew
Hey, make it
Misty's.
look good.
It was Greg's idea to do this, and Misty said, I don't know if I can do everything. I'm like, well, I'll help you a little bit. Hey, Carl.
It's always my idea. I always want to do a podcast.
And I have, since I haven't been sleeping, I have figured out that Pyro don't sleep either. Because,
Dude, I'm telling you what. See, Pyro's about my age. That's what happens. Well, he's our age, Roger. You know how it is.
yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
everybody.
Pyro is going to have to bite the bullet and come on here with us one of these days.
Yeah. Hey, Catherine. On stage, what'd that mean? Oh, I see it. Okay, when you put it, people up there. All right. What's for supper? Let's pass supper.
Hillary's
No,
on groceries.
it's about time for Misty's Supper 2.0.
So
Oh,
let's tell
man.
people how these shows come about. It's like Greg says, "What are y'all doing? Nothing. Gonna
Yeah.
do a show? I don't know. Yeah,
This
let's do a
one
show."
I have to blame on North Cal. This one was their fault. Today they was like, when are you guys doing another Night Owls? I don't know.
Well,
Greg's like, well, right now, tonight, this
that's what
minute,
I'm talking about.
tomorrow, next week.
I've
Yeah,
been
I'm the only one. Look, y'all need to think, if y'all enjoy these podcasts that we do, y'all need to be appreciative of me because Misty and Spencer saying around going, well, I just don't know. I mean, we done one last year, so we're good. Some people get burnt out, so y'all brag on them a little bit.
Look,
I got
it's kind of like being in somebody's face all the time. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to always be in somebody's face. I don't know. It's what I feel like.
That's
yeah.
look, that's some of that damn bullshit, crazy talk that women do after you marry them. Well, I mean, we just done it the other day. My God, is that all you think about?
Well, Pyro, I've been sleeping an hour or two at a time, so I finally started checking YouTube, and what I found out, there are people on YouTube, Misty, that at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
No doubt.
You be ready to go all night now, Catherine. But and the thing is, because there's limited amount of people that having shows, some of these shows have a lot of insomniacs up with them, you know. And I've been one of them.
Yes, there you go, Pyro. Less is more. Exactly.
Oh,
I don't have a whole
well,
lot to say, so I can't do a lot of shows. always looking. Depends on who's in your face.
That's, that's like Spencer. Spencer's pretty bad about he'll be crying about doing a show. Next thing we know, me and Misty one text each other and go, "Hey, Spencer's live." He'd be like trying to arc a fire with battery cables or something.
Larry, I don't know how that happened. Actually, it just happened. Insomniac theater.
Well, we just figured he'd be bored without me and Misty if we was tied up for 2 hours. We was tied up for 2 hours, get text back and forth with him. He'd just be bored. He'd be like a little puppy left outside.
Since Roger's had his hip problems, like we've corrupted him, and now he's one of the night owls.
So I'm talking about. Yeah, you two, he'd give us all that whiny bullshit about, man, y'all got to go to bed.
Yeah, but then 2 hours later, I'll be back in the text thread like, "Hey, y'all, I'm up now."
Yep.
Oh, me, I don't know where we would start on a subject though. I mean, we've all had so much weird stuff happen. Greg, how long? Greg's told us, I think, what he's about to tell y'all sometime tonight. But how long was it before you ever told anybody? Because I mean, this stuff is weird. I know people in chat like have a lot of weird.
I don't ever remember telling anybody before. Pretty much, I told y'all. I've held that back for years and years because it was just absolutely crazy as damn it. I just wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, and well, I think again with some of the TV shows we have, the ghost hunters and the people, the psychics and all that, some of the documentaries on remote viewing and deja vu and all that, it's made it easier, you know. At least we know there's people out there that'll listen, and they've had stuff happen too. So I don't need to get all technical when y'all interviewing, but when I was reading that you I don't know if I even responded to it. I was blown away by the detail. And you were, how old were you?
Dude, I was having that dream by the time I was 5 years old.
That's crazy.
And look, I was born in 1974. And we lived out in the middle of nowhere. Our television, we had 3 channels, sometimes 4. We didn't watch, stuff like that. I grew up, man, we didn't watch a lot of TV. We was all the time working. I mean, that's what we done, we didn't, if I was watching TV, usually it was by the time Dukes of Hazzard come out, something like that. My mother was fanatic about, not watching war movies and stuff like that. That's what always creeped me out about the dream I kept having. And it was the same dream over and over. It'd be like if somebody sat and watched the movie Old Yeller, mash rewind, and 5 days later watched the same thing over again.
Right.
It was like every time it was like an instant replay it was just the same reoccurring dream, and it never changed. It was always the same thing.
Yeah.
And as I'm hashing it out again, ever how many times deep into it, I knew what was going to happen. It was like I was waiting on it to happen.
Yep.
And I knew it, but it wasn't like watching a movie. It was actual first person looking through the eyes. It was like my eyes were the camera. It wasn't like I was looking at me down here being, I know that's me and I'm watching what I'm doing. No, it was like me, myself right now looking. That was the view that I had of it. And it was like I was the person in that dream. And man, it blew me away. But dude, I'd have it. Sometimes I'd have it twice a week. Sometimes it would be 2 months, 3 months. Sometimes it may be a year. And then I'd have it again. And I'd have it 2 or 3 times really quick. But dude, I had to have had that dream over 50 times. And I had a bunch of times till I hit probably 15 years old, maybe. And then I had it a few years ago. I had it one more time. I would say maybe after I turned 15, I didn't have it over 5 or 6 times, guessing. But it was still the same dream. And it was like, oh, I've seen this before. But y'all, I still, and the older I get, the more I think about it, of how in the world I could have had that kind of visions or knowledge of even what was going on. But I mean, I'll just tell you what the dream was. And I mean, I know Roger, I typed it out in text the other day, and what was it, last night before, whenever it was.
I don't
But
remember.
Misty, I told Misty about it. But y'all, I mean, me as a kid, just a kid, a young kid, I had this dream. It always started off, and it was like it would always come into it the same place. I was basically a door gunner on a Huey helicopter, and all I can tell you is by what I was seeing, it had to be like Vietnam era. And this helicopter, we was coming in, and what we were doing, there was some USGIs that were pinned down, and they had basically had been in this battle, and they were trying to retreat or get evac'd out. Well, I was sitting in the door of a Huey helicopter with a machine gun, like right here mounted, and we're coming in, and like we knew it was going to be tough because they were still under fire, and we were going in to get these guys out. And it was like a wood line come around, and it was like rice fields, and it was flooded. I mean, the rice sticking up, I guess shallow water or whatever. And we come in, and there was like a little spot that the chopper come down. And I look, y'all, not only could I see everything was going on, I could hear it, I could smell it, like you could feel the air off the rotors, just like I was there. And this chopper came in, and I remember it coming in, and it had to turn, and it sat down, and it kind of bumped. Well, it sat down. Well, these GIs come running out of the wood line, out of the brush. And they didn't have to go far. I mean, they had to go probably 30, 40 feet to get to the door where I was. And I'm sitting in this door, and there's like one guy that his arms are around these other two GIs, and they're basically nearly dragging him. Well, they get there, and I can remember it's like I reached out and caught the guy by his clothes, and I'm just pulling him, and I'm jerking him up into the chopper, just throw him on the floor. And guys are getting in, and I'm grabbing them and helping them, trying to hurry them up, get them in there. And everybody's bailing in this chopper. The last guy comes in, and I'm screaming at the pilot, like, get us out of here, get us out of here. We got to go, 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 go. And the chopper, you feel it like come up, and the thing turns, and it starts going. It just like you feel it tip, and it starts going, and it starts coming up. It don't just go straight. It's going and starts going up. And y'all, we don't go no pace, but as we're throwing them in, there's bullets zinging. You're hearing bullets hit the chopper, and I'm trying to throw them in, and I'm back on this rifle, and it's boom, 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 and I'm lighting the wood line up down from them where the fire's coming at us, and I'm lighting the woods up, and I'm grabbing them, throwing them in, and y'all, as we're going up. There's bullets pinging everywhere, and we go like maybe 200 yards, and we probably, it's like I'm looking down, I'm still shooting back at the wood line, and all of a sudden there's this boom, and you hear stuff like metal just coming apart, and the chopper kind of starts going crazy, and the pilot's going, we're going down, we lost tail rotor. So basically the tail rotor has come apart, and the helicopter starts turning, and we're not maybe like power line high. We're not high off the ground, but we're going pretty quick. And this chopper just starts off slow turning, and it starts spinning. And it's like we're coming down at an angle. And it's like guys are just like everything's like quiet other than all these sounds. Everybody's like hanging on. And that helicopter comes down and hits at the edge of this rice field in another wood line. And it hits in that water. And when it hits, it like tips. And you can feel this whole thing like just jerk. And the rotors, it's like chunks of metal flying everywhere. And we're just getting thrown around. I mean, it's just like thrashing us inside this thing. And it hits and bounces and it flips back over and it comes up in the air. And you're hearing all these just horrid sounds. Like you're hearing this, like the engine of the helicopter just revving up, and it's making, I mean, horrendous racket. And this helicopter flips over, up, like goes up in the air and flips over, and it hits and it rolls. Well, when it stops, I'm basically fell out of it, and it's like the top half of me is kind of in the door, and the bottom half of me is under the side of the helicopter, and it's got me mashed. I can tell I'm mashed into the mud and in this water. It's like my head is just barely out of the water, and I remember like trying to pull myself out, and I can't. And I'm hurting. And it's like I can't breathe. It's like the weight of the helicopter is mashing me in the mud. And the more it mashes, it's near like it's sinking. And I can remember looking up, and it's kind of dark inside this helicopter. But as I'm looking up, it's cloudy skies. But it's like the opening on the other side of the chopper. It's bright, and I'm looking up through it. And I can hear people moaning. I can hear people screaming. You can hear bullets hitting this helicopter, and it's just horrid. I mean, terrible. And I'm struggling. It's like I'm gasping for air, and I'm trying to hold my face out of the water. And then all of a sudden, it's like I can't get any air in or out. And then all of a sudden, everything starts just fading dark, and it just goes black. But I had that same dream over and over and over again. I don't know how, me as a little kid,
Right.
never watching at that time, watching war movies, how in the world did that come to be in my head?
I know, and what little I know about helicopters and how they work, all that's technically correct. What would happen in those, with everything? What happened when everything went black? What happened immediately after that?
It just went black, and it was just like that was it. And most time that's when I'd wake up.
Right. That's what I was wanting to know.
Yeah.
With my reoccurring dream, excuse me, y'all. When the at the end, at the scary part, I would wake up at the same point every time, and I knew exactly what was going to happen when the dream started. When it started, I knew how it was going to end. But even knowing that, I still went through the whole process. It had to go through the whole process for it to end, which was terrifying. But based off of that one thing that happened to you, Greg, I know you're a Christian, I'm Christian, and we hear different theories on life and death, life after death. Based on that one dream, how does it make you feel about reincarnation? Do you feel like you were somebody in a past life, or that was something you were seeing into a window of somebody else? Or
Well, that goes back, Roger. You know how that goes back into like some of our late night in depth. It's like we talk about sometimes, and me and Misty's really talked about this a lot. It makes us kind of feel like some of the things that I've had, and some things like she's talked about. She said it makes us wonder if we wasn't like a recycled soul, maybe that we were put back to do something else. Maybe we did something that was really good, or got maybe we got cut out before what we were destined to do, and maybe we're back here to do something else. I don't know. I mean, it's just all out there. And this is all just absolute hypothetical guesswork.
oh yeah.
But
But that's the best part of it, though, Greg. Me and you and Misty sit around and talk about stuff, and Spencer and then everybody in chat. We don't have any degrees to put us in a box or whatever. We're spitballing, and
yeah,
I don't have a professor that I can go back and say, well, he said this or she said that. We're just, we're just talking about it, and it does help. I mean, I remember telling my reoccurring dream for the first time, but what I went back to exactly what you said. At me at 2.5 years old, how did I know what things look like from above? We there wasn't any drones or anything, uh, and and I don't know. It's just how things would work is way beyond your comprehension at that age. Um, it's I don't know. I've thought about it. I don't know what the answer is, but when you typed that out, and I've got to know you pretty good. I did ask you one question, but I got another question for you.
All right.
And I said something like, "Wow, that might be your uh, that might be something why you might have a fear of running out of ammo or protection, because of that dream." But here's another thing: do you have a fear of drowning?
No, not really. And well, I mean, look, not no more than anybody else. I don't have a
Yeah,
phobia, but now I'll
yeah,
tell you what I do have. You're almost right. I do have almost a phobia about running out of ammo,
yeah,
and I damn sure have a phobia of heights. I can't stand. I don't look.
yeah.
No, I don't even like to watch airplanes fly over.
You should have seen me. The one time I flew, it was there and back to Vegas in the early '90s, and it was cool. And all of a sudden, this thought went through my head: there's a few little bitty thin pieces of sheet metal between me and 38,000 feet.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I was about flipping out the rest of the way. Almost rented a car. If I'd had the money, I'd have rented a car and drove back from
yeah.
Vegas. It's just, yeah.
But Roger, it was just like that. I mean, the whole dream, man, it was just so many like the smells, dude. It's like I could smell the mud.
Yeah,
I could smell the water. I could smell fuel.
yeah.
It's like just overwhelmed with like every sense was the needle was pegged on it, and that's what was so crazy, dude. I mean,
Well,
just
I talked to my dad. I told him some of my dreams back when he was alive, and he said, I don't, and this is where all of us are different. He said, I don't remember my dreams. I'm like, oh God, I wished I couldn't remember some of my
yeah,
dreams. And it's different the way a lot of our minds work. It's like me and Greg have talked about this. If I see something and it's incredible, or whatever, if it's in the woods and we see something, or if you see something happen like an accident, I play it back like a movie. And people's like, how do you remember all those details? I said, I'm not really remembering it. It's like I can see it again and again and again. It's not, and so some of my dreams have been as vivid as Greg's. I have smelt things like you said, or me dreaming you're playing football again, and dirt go in your mouth and taste it. And I'm gonna tell you one of the weirdest ones I ever had. Out of all the weird ones, um, you know how dreams you're just there. Well, I'm driving this cop car, and we're probably somewhere in Los Angeles or something. And I look over to my right, and my best friend is sitting there. We're in full uniform, city cops, and we get a call on the radio. And I think it skips to where we see the person we're looking for, and they're running, and we throw it up. I throw it up in park, and we jump out. He's behind me, and the guy has a gun. I can see it in his right hand, and it looks like a 44 revolver. And I don't remember what I had. And as he rounded the corner, I'm coming up on the corner, and in my head, I'm thinking, "Don't take this corner tight. Don't take this corner tight." And but there wasn't a lot of room, right? And he was getting away. He'd done something horrible. Greg, I come around that corner, drawn, and he had stopped and was waiting on me. He shot me with a 44 uh, bullet cartridge. It hit me
yeah,
just above the belly button. I went down, and my buddy is like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Get him, get him, get him." Then it goes to black. Well, I wake up, and I can feel that bullet hole right above my belly button for hours, not just a few minutes. It
yeah.
I kept looking at it. It felt so real on my nerves that I would still
Oh,
check it, you know.
golly.
And now wasn't any pain involved. It was just it was a weird tingling, if that makes sense. It wasn't. I'm glad it wasn't a pain, but
Yeah.
um, and there's so many times where I've had the vivid dreams. And Pyro said something earlier. We did the same thing, Pyro.
Roger, you talk about it being like a tingling or whatever. Like,
Hmm.
okay, I talk about astro projection and stuff like that sometimes to you guys. Well, when you're practicing learning how to try to do that, that's like your body has to be in such a state of rest. But seriously, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you'll feel your body start doing that, like tingling all over, and you'll have such an urge to move or twitch or scratch or whatever. That's your body. Like when you're like that, you're going into like that point of rest.
Yeah.
So you're probably coming out of that, and maybe it's not, maybe you're not dreaming. Maybe you're going somewhere else and you don't even, you just think you're dreaming. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just saying.
no, I understand, because I remember having nightmares, just regular kid nightmares, 10, 11, 12 years old and all that. And I watched a movie, and I don't remember the name of the movie, but this guy took control of his dreams. And after that movie, it plants the seed that that's possible. So I'm dreaming one night, and it's I realize inside the dream that I'm dreaming. And I'm like, well, if I'm dreaming, should be able to do anything I want to. And in that dream, I flew above the house and all around, the area, and then went inside the house through the roof. It was a short dream, but there's times where now, I guess I'm being older and don't put up with stuff. I'll be having a horrible dream, and I'll realize that I'm dreaming, and I'm like, the heck with y'all, and sometimes I can wake myself up.
Mhm.
But Misty, yeah, the brain releases a chemical. I know a dream inside a dream is complicated. I've done that. Yeah. Um, I I tell you one thing. Somebody told me one time, we were having a discussion like this. He said he was a good guy. He was different. But he said, Roger, he said how I read to tell if you're dreaming. There's a couple ways. He said if you look at a clock, see what time it is, and turn your head and look back, it'll never be the same time. And me, if I ever try to do math on a calculator or try to make a phone call, like actually dialing, it doesn't work. And then after like a few times, I realize I'm dreaming. That's it. Right. See,
Exactly.
exactly, Pyro.
I
I
mean,
could see, yeah, I could see me sleeping on that nightmare I had, the reoccurring. I could see me sleeping, then went through to my mom and dad's bedroom. I grabbed the door facing and pulled myself under because I was up to the ceiling. Then I could see them, and then it continues. I'll tell it later. I've told it before, but um, and here, well, look, here's what I worry about. Here's what I worry about. I keep my gun handy close by, but I started leaving one out of the pipe because I had a friend that had an accident, and he said while he was in a coma, he kept dreaming that he wondered how he got where he was at, and he kept worrying that he reached back and grabbed his 9mm and accidentally shot himself while he's asleep. So um, I keep it just out of arm's reach, and I can put one in so damn fast. But and I'm really wary too, like in a dream when I'm actually shooting a gun. Sometimes it don't work. Sometimes I can't pull the trigger, in a bad situation or whatever. But sometimes I don't pull the trigger because I'm worried that I might be standing up in the bedroom. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, y'all. Um,
Well, like for me, I mean, it even rocked on. The older I get, I wondered if, okay, was I really, I was born in '74, so in the late '60s, was I actually at some point in time a U.S. soldier that lived through that? And that's the way I went out.
yeah,
And did I come back? Here's my next chapter. I mean, I don't know, but I
yeah,
know just like what Pyro said. You know, I was seeing things that there was absolutely no way I should have known. I should have been able to have. There's no way that I should have been able to know that. And
yeah,
look, it was. I mean, I could feel like, isn't it like you were on a pendulum? That helicopter when it would move, I could feel it. Like
yeah,
it's swaying, And when it started turning, I mean, I felt it all. It was just absolutely like I was living through that.
That sounds
The
like a
air, you can feel the air hitting you.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
smells, the
yeah,
sounds, the shaking of stuff
yeah.
happening. 100%. I
It,
know.
Yeah, it wasn't like sitting in a movie theater and watching it happen. Oh no, it was like I was living it.
right. And it sounds like a memory. I mean, it don't sound
Mhm.
like a dream. And I've had people, scoff at some of the dreams I've talked about. I don't really talk about it because um, with what Pyro said earlier, I don't know if I finished my thought, but we started listening to the music on Spotify, the different frequencies and all that. And you are correct, sir. I had some of the most vivid dreams, but I didn't feel restricted in any way. I almost felt freed up and like my mind was running. And man, it went a lot of places. But and when I woke up, I was more well rested for some reason. So Heather said she couldn't tell the difference. I could. Yeah, I woke up. The only time I've ever you know slept walk was the night this is the only time anything bad's ever happened here. When I was single years ago, and I woke up and my closet door had sliding doors slid open, and I usually keep them shut. I looked up in the closet, and I've told this before, but there was a lady with white hair. Looked like she'd been in a casket for you know several years, and she was scowling at me. And in this dream, I'm like, oh hell no, this is my house. So I attacked, and I reached and grabbed her by the throat. And as I grabbed her in the closet, as I grabbed her by the throat, I woke up, and I was in the closet with my hands up like this right here.
Golly.
And I looked around and was like, huh. you know, I didn't want to think about it too much. I've never woken up and nobody's ever told me that I'd moved like that in my dreams. So I'm like, okay. You know how our minds work sometimes? I just went to the bathroom, peed, and come back, went to sleep. But because I didn't want to think about it. But you can bet your butt that my closet door stays shut in the house. So, oh man. And that's dangerous. That's
Especially as a
really
kid.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, y'all. Mine was a nightmare. I mean, Greg's was a nightmare too. But come to find out, about 10 years later, that a little boy accidentally hung himself in the house, and that was the kid that was trying to get me. At the end of the dream, come play with me, come play with me, and he had me by the wrist, Greg, and I could feel it. It was about like he was about to pull my wrist off, and he was in my bedroom, but the light was off. The darkness split me right in the middle. The living room light was on, and I didn't have my dad's hand. I had a damp dish towel, and he's like, "Don't let go, don't let go." And right every time, right as my hand started slipping, I was going to that dark room. I'd wake up in a sweat, and
Wow.
and when it started, uh, in the dream, I had this dread because I knew what was coming, and this happened 2 or 3 times a week for probably a year, I guess. But I'm 54 years old, and that was 52 years ago, and I could go in detail. I could go in detail about the goldfish swimming in there with us. I could go in detail what my mom and dad's bed looked like, how they were laying sleeping. But um, it's just I drive by that house sometimes, and there was so much stuff went on at that house with several different people. My mom, her sister, um, and um, just weird stuff. I I wanted to pull in and talk to the new owners, but I wouldn't step foot in that house again for no amount of money.
Mm. Yeah. No, I don't think I'm going to go back there either.
Well,
And
no, go
go ahead.
ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
well, Peyton was telling me, y'all. Peyton went down close to Mark Green last past couple nights, and they were working, and they decided to pull a double, so they drove back down there. And Mark said they were about 5 miles from his plant, and
Yeah.
so Peyton called Greg on the way home and talked to him, staying awake, and he he told me that he told you some pretty pretty wild
Oh
stories.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah. Yeah. But Roger, not getting off the dream subject, but man, that was really the main nightmare that I had over and over and over and over. But that was pretty much, I ain't gonna say it was the only nightmare I had, but by far, man, I had it all the time, and I really didn't have many nightmares other than that one. But dude, to change it up, the one thing that I did have a lot, I had it all the time, was deja vu. I would dream stuff, and it may be the next day, it may be a week later, it may be a month later, but I would have deja vu all the time.
yeah,
I'm talking about, and it wasn't like it was like, like I could tell the future, but it would be a certain, like maybe I would be at a cafe and I would hear maybe a door squeak, somebody walk in, and I would hear somebody say, "Hey, how are y'all?" And I would hear a certain person would answer a certain word, and I would turn and I would see the two people that I had seen this, and it's like I was reliving it. And I would turn, and it may be a guy with a bright red shirt and a cowboy hat, or and he's talking to another person. But when I looked, it was like I was looking at a photo that I'd looked at.
yeah,
It was like, and it would, and dude, when it would do that, it was like my whole body would just like blink, like tense, just,
yeah,
and you just nearly want to just say out loud like, "Oh shit!"
right.
And but and that's all it would be. It wouldn't be nothing bad or anything like that. And it wasn't telling me that something horrible was going to happen, but it was like that instant moment. I had already seen it play out to an extent. It may be 5 seconds worth, 10 seconds worth. It wasn't like I knew, like, okay, 5 minutes from now there's going to be a bad car wreck. Don't ride in that car. No, it wasn't. Never anything like that. But it would always be just for just a slight clip of what was going to happen next.
Well,
And,
and I know I've been same way all my life. And like one of the comments said, it happened a lot more the younger I was, but I did pray about it and ask God to take it away from me because I didn't like it because when that happens, you can't help but react. If you're in the middle of a conversation and it happens, you stop in your tracks.
exactly.
Can you? And I've told people like, wait a minute, and then
How,
then I want
how
to
many
see
times
and
have you
hear
been
what's coming.
sitting talking to somebody and have just like not deja vu, but something like almost like a old type movie, where I don't know what it is, like on the reels where it's got like a little bit of like a
Flicker.
flash. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, like that.
Yeah,
Like a
That's
flicker to it nearly.
yeah.
yeah. How many times have y'all ever had that happen talking to somebody or talking about doing something or whatever, and it's like you catch something in the future comes
I
in like a movie, no sound or nothing, just I the reason I say that is because when I was young, you talk about how, it was more when you were younger.
yeah.
I got the deja vu. I would have dreams and it or have stuff that would happen like that.
Mhm.
Anymore, it seems like I get, and it don't happen often, trust me, but I get movies almost
Yeah.
like bits of movies.
Well, that's
Weird.
interesting, Misty. That's really interesting because I'm not going to speak for Greg, but I'm going to tell you what mine are flashes of what has already happened, or maybe I'm seeing something. Maybe I'm not interpreting it wrong. Um, because at the time, like you don't think about it, but when it happens, you think about it. I haven't exactly had anything like you're talking about. It's almost like you're seeing the future, but you know it at the time. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
No, okay, let me use this as an example.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to catch up on the
Oh,
comments.
you're
Hold
good.
on.
There's a lot of good comments.
Yeah, I know. Let me
Great, Mark. Yeah,
Well,
Mark
yeah,
had a
Mark.
really good
Mark,
question.
I did, but I don't know. I know I had one of my mother's first cousins. He was killed in Vietnam, but as far as I know, he wasn't door gunner on a U helicopter.
I'll go back. I can't catch up with them. I've done lost my train of thought. What
Oh
now?
no, you're
What did you
good.
ask
You
me,
were talking about
Roger?
no. Listen, you were talking about the flick. It was really interesting because you were talking about the little flicker, and
Yes.
then and then you're almost seeing the future or something that's going to happen. Is that right?
Okay. Well, what's so weird is, like I said, now this is nothing that I had happen a lot, and it's like it. I don't even know how to explain it. It's so weird because it never happened, and then it happened, and then it like happened a lot for just like a short period, and then now it just like rarely happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, I don't mind it. I used to. I hated the thought, just like you, of having to deal with stuff like this.
Yeah.
But as you get older, it's like you almost welcome it. I do, because I've learned to accept it, and I've learned to actually be able to use it, I guess, to understand more of what really is going on with me, that I'm not as crazy as what everybody thought when you'd come and tell them stuff like this,
Yeah.
But I was standing in the kitchen, and we were planning on going to the Daniel Boone trip. And I think I might've been on the phone with Mark, and I was like, we were just commenting back and forth about, the trip and this and that, and things that we were going to try to do, places we were going to try to go. And all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, I get Kane standing in front of me now. And it's weird because sometimes when I see stuff like this, it's like I'll see it through my eyes, but then it'll jump, and I may be looking at who I thought was me originally looking. I don't know how to explain that, how to
I
make
got
it make
I got a
sense.
question. I got a question for both of you separately. Same question.
Okay.
Misty, what decade or time period in American history do you feel more connected to?
Way back in like the Indian damn cowboys and Indians, that and further back. Like I don't, none of this, even I've always felt like I'm in the wrong time period.
And that
Like
makes a lot of
always.
sense. Greg, we know what she does all day. It makes sense, don't it?
Yeah.
You could picture her doing that, 100 years ago, 150. Greg, what decades or time period do you feel connected to other
At
than
least,
now?
at least early to the mid 1800s.
And me, I feel the late 40s to mid 50s. When I see a movie now, of course I can see one set in the 70s. That's nostalgic. That's different. Hey, my mom
Yeah.
had that carpet, or I drink out of that glass. You
Yeah.
see that. But I feel like when I see 50s movies, late 40s, early 50s, I just
Yeah.
feel different, like a connection to everything that's going on, their clothes, what they're drinking and eating, and not so much how they're talking, because a lot of times in those movies everybody's rich or whatever, but I'm talking about like Sergeant York,
Yeah.
and which that's further back. But some of those movies were people, poor people, you know regular folks, that I feel more connected to them in that time period. And I've never asked him about that question, but I wondered why I felt like that. I'm not going to go and say, hey, I believe in reincarnation, because I don't know. But I know there's a lot of cultures that have a lot of explanations for this stuff. And
Well, okay,
I wonder,
okay, I got to tell you this, and this is so off topic, and I know this is,
oh,
I'm going to get everybody confused because I'm going to be jumping back and forth, but this is the way my mind works, so you just got to like
Pour it out.
try to keep up with me.
this is your
Pour,
show. We just here.
hey,
Okay.
pour it upon us.
Well, JR always tells me, because like I know exactly what I'm trying to say, and I know what I'm saying. But he's like, look, I don't understand squirrels, so you got to English, tell me what you're trying to say.
I don't speak squirrel. I can't hear that fast. Shut up. Slow down.
Uh-huh.
you talked about that. Well, okay, get this. Back to seeing like the movie things or whatever. One of the things that I've actually seen happen like that. I was in an old, like an old plantation house, and I'm looking through my eyes because I'm going down the stairs, all that, and I'm assuming, I don't know anything about me yet, but I'm assuming I'm a woman because it pops into my head and just starts playing whenever I lay down and try to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm not asleep. I just close my eyes and it just starts happening. And I just start going down this brown wooden staircase, sliding my hand down the rail, and I can see a skirt kicking in front of me and these black boots. And it's a dark blue skirt. And I'm going down steps and I go down to these big set of like wood heavy French doors. I'm getting cold chills just talking about this. And I pull the door open and this guy comes in and he's like a soldier. I can't see a face. I can't see anything. All I can see is from here down. He's got a shirt on almost identical to what Greg is wearing right now, but it's long sleeved. It's the green, like military style. I can see pants and boots up to the knees, brown boots, but I never see any faces, never see anything. Well, I don't even know how to explain this to make it make sense. It jumps back and forth, and it's like it keeps replaying and showing. It shows me looking like I'm the one, like that lady, okay? And then I will see like I'm like a bystander standing over here watching this replay, what I just watched or what I just done.
You're seeing the same thing from different perspectives.
Yes, okay. It's weird because it's never, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to confuse nobody, but I don't see it one way. When I see stuff like this, I see it from two different perspectives.
Yeah.
And it'll be me, and then it'll be me seeing, but this wasn't me, but it was me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like you've seen it first person one time, and then like say if a camera was recording it the second time to the side.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, when I see what I just felt and watched myself do, it's a lady, a slim lady, and she's got on this white shirt button up like I can't think of it, but like the brooches that's got okay, it's that type of shirt. It's got like lace, like frills around it or whatever, like a real tight neck collar. And then it's white button down, kind of little puffy around the sleeves, tied around the wrist, wide bands, tucked in real nice, high, like almost like Little House on the Prairie skirt, but she's like fancier. You know what I mean? Her shirt's made of silk almost. It's like it's shiny, and she's got this like long blue skirt on and these black boots, and she's running down the steps, sliding her hand. She's got her hair pulled back and it's twisted, and it's like it's a redder than Greg's beard, but it's like a natural, just real pretty strawberry blonde or something. And it's twisted back in like a library bun. And she's probably, I don't know, maybe early 30s, something like that. And she's going down the steps and she goes down, she opens the door. Well, then the guy comes in and it replays it all over again. This time I can't see a face, but I'm looking over the top like I'm standing at the top of the stairs, and I see him with his hat. And as he walks in, he's got his head leaned down like this, and he comes in and he bends over and he starts taking his boots off. And he comes up and she just kind of walks up and stands in front of him. When he stands up, I still can't see anything. And he gives her a hug and a kiss. And when he leans back down and goes to close the door, it's like everything changes, and there's the same figure, the same outfit. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. It's like literally the same war suit or whatever that the guy's in, work uniform. I don't know what he is. All I can see is his pants and his boots. Well, this guy is in the same thing, but he's like behind the door when the door goes to be shut. and there's a huge tall wooden coat rack. And this thing is shape shifting into a wolf, like a werewolf or a wolf man or whatever. I mean, he's literally changing right behind that door, and these people don't even realize that there's even anything in there. And it's like I wake up every time, but I don't never see anything bad happen. It's like when I start seeing that change, I know to wake up, but I don't want to. I want to stay and that Verby was saying something about that, or somebody, do we ever try to go back to sleep and try to finish that dream? I don't know how many times I've tried to do that with that dream. And every time it shows that, it wakes me up. But there was a point to me telling you guys that, because what if that is something, and I experienced something cryptid in another life, or something else that made me experience the things that I experience now. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Well,
It's weird.
if you dig into it like we have a little, I mean, there are a lot of people that's really digging into different. Some people say rabbit holes or whatever, and they get really detailed into it. I just kind of skim across it and get an idea of what they're talking about. But if you go back, I think there was a comment earlier said that our DNA has
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah.
If if it's in our bloodline, um, who's to say? I feel sometimes like I've been shown things uh, throughout my life, instead of me just happening to seeing it. It just, I mean, like, hey, look, here this is, and it's almost like there's a reason and a method to it. I don't know what the end of it is, but y'all know I did the blood test and went back to Neanderthal and all that, and I've just recently watched a couple things on that. Um, I I feel like it's a gut feeling that it could be something in the bloodline. That's what you always hear in the movies, the bloodline, the bloodline. You know what I mean? I don't know that for a fact, but I'm glad that we can at least talk about it and try to figure it out. But let me ask you this: so when you're in the first person in that dream, and I guess you're coming down the steps, can you see that threat wolf person at that time from that view?
No, when I'm going down the steps, I'm sorry, I was trying to catch up.
No, you're good.
If I look at chat while I'm trying to tell something, y'all, I get so freaking lost.
No, I don't know how they interpret. You got people that interpret dreams or whatever, and I guess it could be like talked to a guy one time out in Oklahoma, Yohola Tiger. He said talking about the medicine man, and Pyro can back me up on this. I didn't know what medicine man meant. I thought he meant doctor or whatever, but he said no, that means it has that medicine, that capability of seeing things and doing things that regular folks can't. So I
Well,
don't know.
when I come down the steps, it's just like y'all were talking about how you can feel how everything feels. I was excited. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
knew I was going down to greet somebody that I was excited to see.
right.
And
Well, you get the feelings come with all that.
yeah, yes, yeah. I could feel my hand sliding down the rail, Roger, as I was going down the steps.
Yeah.
I was watching my dress kicking out in front of me as I was. It's weird. I mean,
And
I'm telling you, I'm getting cold chills just talking
well,
about it. It's.
it's like Greg's. It sounds like a memory to me.
I've
Yeah.
sat. I've had that happen. I've sat. I don't know how many times I've dreamed about an older Indian woman, an older medicine woman, and they're sitting in a teepee. They're sitting around a fire, and she's sitting down, and there's a fire going, and there's a younger girl sitting there with her across from her, and there's like a young brave guy. I'm assuming it's probably they're either all family or something's going on with the two. I don't know, but they're all in this teepee together with a fire going, and she's an old woman, old gray haired woman, but you can just tell being in there. I mean, you can just feel, this woman is, she may be a shaman. I don't know. She's really, really up in the tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like she's really important. And I've dreamed so many times about that, about, just seeing them sitting there and that guy, that young boy, just like pacing and standing behind that girl. And then I just wake up. It's like I don't know anything that's going on. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing through any of their eyes. It's like I'm watching, just like sitting over to the side watching, but I can't hear them saying anything. That I can only see them just sitting there, and it's like you can tell there's something. It's almost like there's something wrong.
Well, we had a question. We had a bunch of good questions in chat. I can't do it because I'm on my phone. I can't answer.
Okay, hang on. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But I don't remember where I heard this, read this, or somebody told me, but I was told or read that if you're having a nightmare and you kind of wake up a little bit, change position, roll over, change positions, and you won't pick back up. But if you are having a dream that you would like to continue, if you you don't move, and you stay in that position, you could possibly pick it back up. But if you ever move and roll over, that's all gone, and it works. I mean, I've had bad dreams, and that's the first thing I'll do. I realize it, and I'll move on purpose, So, yeah, there's been so many good questions. And it seems like a lot of people, Pamela, I feel that way too. It's almost like there's something I don't know that I need to know.
All right. Let me ask a question right here. All right. Look, here's something that just absolutely has boggled my mind for a few years now. I got a question for Misty. Wait, me and her talked about this. Misty, what do you think the chances that me and you knew each other before?
I think there's a good chance that a lot of us have known each other before. And even if we haven't, it's already been written that we're going to. And
maybe even some people in chat, right, that we've met.
Yes.
Because everybody has gone. I mean, at that LBL, there's people come from all corners of the country to meet, and there was not a crossword, there was not any kind of conflict, there was no jealousy. It was one of the easiest going.
Roger.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all from working at the jail for 2 years and being on the interstate for 28 years, I'm not comfortable in big groups of people, or any small groups of people that I don't know.
Yeah.
I knew there were people there that had my back if need be, and I had their back if need be. But
Yep.
that feeling went away that I needed those people to have my back more than any other time that I can remember. And everybody, the energy there was so freaking positive.
No.
It was, and that's why we gushed about it for weeks after that. I don't think it was the meeting of people, but the positive energy. When I came back, I was so freaking amped up with positive energy that
Roger,
it
I can't
was.
go anywhere. But my husband tells me I need my mom, get out of the house more. Go do something. Just go visit, go see people. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, why do I need to go anywhere? If I get out in a big crowd and
Yeah.
get around a lot of people, depending on what's going on or whatever, like I get so tore up, my nerves can't handle it. And it's not that because I don't ever get out of the house. I used to go everywhere and, take off and go places by myself. I'll still do it now and it don't bother me too. But it depends on where I'm going and who I'm going to be around. Just like you said, all the energy there, everybody was getting along, having a good time. And you could just feel the energy off from everybody. If I go like Black Friday shopping, or if I go somewhere where a funeral, I don't care who it is. If I go to a funeral and people are tore up, I don't even have to know who has passed away. Y'all, I become a freaking drama queen. I can't help it. I have to leave. I can't handle it. My nerves can't take it. It's the energy that's in the room. More sensitive people soak that in, and you can't help to control how your emotions are when things like that happen.
I'm gonna just throw this out here. Here, the thing that's got me sold on. Now, look, y'all, I've never really had a problem meeting people and making friends. Never. But I'm just gonna throw this out there. I have never in my life ever met somebody like well, the very first time I talked to Misty, it was like I had known her my entire life. I could have sat down right then and told her anything she wanted to know. What I could have told her from kindergarten on, anything that I had I'd held back from anybody. I could have sat down and talked to her and told her whatever. It didn't matter what it was, and it was absolutely like I had grew up around her, and that she was my closest best friend from day one. I know that sounds absolutely psycho
No,
crazy.
no, it was so bad, Greg, that I can't even say it. I hatted her, waved at them,
Spit it out,
was talking to
Junior.
everybody, and walked freaking off because we. It's almost like I've been knowing her and Jr. all my life. Got back over there, and it hit me. I was like, Heather, I need to go back over and say hi to Misty and them because I just kind of ignored them. It's like, hey, y'all supposed to be here, so you
Yeah.
knew. But Greg, I got two things right quick. One thing I wanted, Greg, you can confirm this. 2 to 4 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks before the LBO trip, me and Misty was freaking out about going. We almost backed out
Yeah,
because of the crowds, right? And you kept saying, no, 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 y'all need to go. And Pyro walked. He snuck up on us, and I'm
yeah,
sitting there beside you over there, and you're talking to them, and at your big kettle or whatever. And I'm sitting there, and Pyro just walked. He just appears out of nowhere. I ain't never seen this guy in my life. And I looked at him, kind of nodded and smiled or whatever, and he grinned like this shit didn't grin. My daddy used to say. And I looked down at his jacket, and I saw the
A
job.
secret squirrel.
You know what I mean? And I looked back up, and I'm like, Pyro. It was like somebody dropped me off with $1,000 as a kid at Toys R Us.
yeah,
I run up, and give him a big hug, and
yeah,
we didn't get to talk much because
Pyro's a big old
yeah, I
guy.
know.
yeah.
and we
Yes.
and we were meeting so many people. I think we were spread thin, and I wish I'd spent more time with him because he's so far away. But oh, it was amazing. But Pamela
Mr.
said
Lone
something about
Sharp.
the RH negative blood. I don't
Thank
know
you,
which
Larry.
ones match up. I found out that I'm
Thank you, Larry.
O negative, and I read about what it. They can tell you how you're supposed to feel and how you think and stuff, and it's pretty much right on, but it's not 100%. But yeah, Patrick sat with me and Heather, Patrick and Billy Schilling, of course. I mean,
Man.
we're sitting there just chilling.
Y'all tell me that the first time you wasn't around Billy Schilling, he didn't come across like you knowed him forever, too.
Oh no, he just come right up to me. And I think he sent me a message and asked, are we gonna be there and all that. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And I never met him. And of course, I love. I'm visual. If I can put a face to those names, I'm good. Uh, and some of them I did remember, but yeah, Billy was parked right beside us, and I mean,
I mean, Misty, think about this. When Roger, when we corrupted Roger, it was like we'd found a lost brother.
yeah,
I know. And look, I'm going to say it again. I don't give a shit. I'm taking credit. I brought Roger in. Roger don't remember that, but you're welcome, Roger.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, Pyro, I
but
checked see if you had moccasins on. I was like, how in the hell did that guy get up here that
he
big,
snuck
snuck
up
up on
on
us?
us. He is counting too. He's gonna come up and touch you.
Yeah, he was grinning. He enjoyed it,
He
but he just like
may be
appeared.
a big guy, but he sure is sneaky.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't. Yeah, me and Patrick. I don't remember Christy come up and like
Hey,
had
Gary.
a she had a whole thing of cookies, and she was almost force feeding them. Like, hey, y'all better eat these. And we wasn't arguing with her.
I was
Yeah.
like, I got diabetes. I can't eat that.
Yeah, you should have seen Martin Grove's
You
beard
do
is
not.
full of
I
that
see you
brown cookie
walking
crumb.
around with a plate full of brownies.
Yeah. Those are medicinal brownies. Misty was like, I'm saving these for all the people that's hypoglycemic. It's emergency brownies.
Yeah,
I think about every 5 minutes, Pat Noble was over there going, man, I think my sugar's low, Misty. I need no
but and what was wild about it, this guy pulls up in this big truck, pulls over there. He's putting his tent up. Me and Billy been talking. Him and Heather hit it off, and Honey, and we're talking to folks, and this big old fancy truck pulls up over there, and I'm like, man, that's a big old guy. I don't know him, and I think I said, hey, how you doing? And he answered back, and when I heard his voice, it was
damn.
and I didn't want to be that person, but I did a double take. Like, I think I know who you are.
No doubt.
But him and Naoma, which is that was our section there, and you had Gary down at the end, and Wendell was right down in there. But just we've talked about, but what I'm saying is, you see how we gush about it. I've never been in a big crowd of people like that. It's like as soon as I met Larry and Debbie face to face, I trusted them. You know what I mean? Y'all knew them
It
beforehand.
almost makes you wonder if that's why it was so bad that we were going to all try to get together again. If it was something trying to keep us all from getting together
I
again
don't know.
because there
That's
was
what I
such
kept telling you.
good energy together.
That's what I kept telling you. Like just like when you wigged out about going to Holland's for 2 weeks. What I tell you, I told you it's something trying to keep us apart, and I'll be damned, it ain't gonna keep me from going. It ain't gonna win. So yeah, that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling y'all, that's look there, Wendell. We gave Wendell direction, brother.
Yeah, look, see, there's Pyro.
Yeah,
I mean, but
It's
that's the thing. It's
crazy.
like Billy said. He said he showed up in his truck, and hell, Billy was sleeping on his boots.
yeah.
I was like, hey, you want to borrow this heater? Hey, we're going to stay in our cabin. You want to sleep inside the tent? And no, yeah, come on. No, look, DD. Yeah, I guess.
Roger's more like an armored attack posse.
Doodle, doodle.
Turtle.
I
Yes,
was
turtle.
I was born this way, and here's what happened.
Oh, shit.
We had in school, we had a blast. Right out of school, we had a blast. But most of my friends went to the military, and they scattered across the country. And I had some that a core group here that was a little bit older, and they all got married before I did. So I look up one day, and I'm about 23, 24, 23 years old, and everybody's married. They got careers. I'm working for my parents, which was cool, but it's like it all changed, and I kind of I didn't shut down. I just got away from that, but I can say what I want to around them.
Is that Roger? Is that about the time when you quit calling yourself Gator and give up pimping?
I never
Well,
give that
one
up.
thing, every time I try to send a text, it always auto corrects Roger to Tiger or River.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
never goes.
time.
Yeah.
Tiger. So I'm
Yep.
always texting him, calling him
You know,
Tiger.
and you know what's funny about that? My friends in high school, of course, they were funny. They were hilarious. They sat around one night and made up 100 nicknames just for me.
Oh Lord.
So they were always calling me something. So I've been called everything in the book. I used to be shy. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta answer Sandra. I held that plate up, but yeah, Sandra, I cut me a good sized piece of Sandra. Look, Sandra come today. If y'all watch Woodwalkers Day, Sandra and her son Jeffrey come, and one of Woodwalkers sitting right here, and man, Sandra come in with a dadgum homemade pecan pie for me, sitting in there, and I had to cut me a slice just a little bit ago right before we come on. Boy, it was good too. God.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. All I had was a honey bun.
Misty,
Misty got a
Misty.
honey bun in her mustache.
That's what
Hey,
we were
look,
laughing
I,
about,
I'm
y'all.
just, I'm just gonna tell y'all. I think I figured out who Misty's biggest fan is today.
I did too.
Yep, yep. I know who your biggest fan is. Like a few of them come out
Yeah,
today.
your wife.
Yep.
So, so
Hey,
y'all,
look, you know that a woman like one of your friends, one of your women friends is like, I mean, you take a look and they come on and it's like, golly, man, she is absolutely extra gorgeous today. But then your wife sends you a text going, my God, look at Misty. And I'm like, I sent Misty a text like, look, you're doing a little too much. You swaying my wife.
Greg did send me a text. He's like, don't you be turning my wife gay.
Yeah. Uh, we were crying like,
I said, look, Greg, I said, if something ever happens to you and JR, I said, don't worry. I said, me and Wanda's going to shack up together and raise Abby.
oh my God.
well, see, but that's awesome that everybody's comfortable enough to joke about this stuff because
Yeah.
it takes upper E9. Well, we didn't change the E9.
They added on. Yeah,
That was
a few years ago, she was just upper pod 5 running apps. I think she's
mhm.
multiple levels now.
That was across
Yeah.
the creek into the community college there, E9.
Yes.
I
Look
figured
at
out how to
hey,
start
That's where they
getting
made the license plate.
PayPal and Venmo.
oh, wow. Well, hey, how many Marlboros is a honey bun now, Rick?
Oh, no.
Oh no, them cigarettes are pretty
Fire in
expensive.
it.
Them cigarettes are pretty expensive, ain't they?
That's true.
Uh,
No doubt.
look, when I worked at the jail, I worked
Y'all don't admit damn complex.
Oh, shit.
I worked at the jail. I was really young, and we couldn't figure out how they was getting cigarettes in because we checked them pretty daggum good, but they keep getting cigarettes in. And one night I was doing a perimeter check, and we had this little brand new jail now, but they had these little windows. It was about 4 inches wide, and it was probably about 3 foot tall, and had the that safety glass in it, the wire and all that. And
Yeah.
I just go up and just start looking with a flashlight and thinking, well, surely these windows are still in here. They hadn't broken one out. And I go up there, and somebody had taken a drill and they drilled a hole just big enough to put one single cigarette through.
Really?
And they were sitting there, they apparently feeding those cigarettes in there. And that's where we kept cigarette butts, literally.
Mm.
Okay. I
Oh,
missed
man.
something.
If you got a poked honey bun, that may make it a donut.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all make me cry every time I have to deal with y'all.
Hillary,
We
I
ain't
got
even got started.
since she's on that right there. Hillary, do you know this? This is for Hillary and everybody else. Y'all may know the answer to this. Hillary, do you know who the most popular man at the nudist colony is? Misty, do you know?
I better not say.
Look, it's the guy that can carry 2 cups of coffee and a half a dozen donuts at the same time. Do you know who the most popular female at the nudist colony is?
No.
That's the woman that can eat the last donut.
Greg.
I'm too late to go up.
Picking on me. She know, yep, the boss. Oh, man. Well, though, going
I was
back
going to say
to,
it was my pool boy, but
but
The Latin poo boy.
but most of the people that have had these weird experiences and these dreams and these visions and stuff happen, it seems like most of them have got a pretty good sense of humor. Now I've run up on some that they ain't built like us, but it seems like everybody's got a pretty good outlook about all most everything. ain't saying they don't get stressed out and have bad days, but it's it's bad when it's like people like like right now I'm leaning on my cane. Y'all see take pressure. Y'all see me
I
moving
can't
up.
sit still. I got down in the floor thinking I was 5, just sitting there for hours, and I told
Roger,
him, I said, I feel like I've been down with like a $2 whore.
Roger calling that a cane, y'all. It's his pimp stick.
No, it's my regular old cane. I've got one in there that somebody made me.
He retired it.
I'm gonna make you one, Roger, when I grow my sticks.
All right. Oh,
It's just based off.
Oh shit.
Oh my gosh, yeah, y'all. That
I like reading the comments. Like,
That's what cracks me up. Y'all, then I look over and I'm like, golly, y'all got to stop.
look here. Wait, what? Y'all ain't 12:15 Central Time, and we got like 64 folks on here.
Insomniacs, I'm telling you.
So, okay, let me ask you this. What as far as like deja vu or whatever, what is something that y'all have had like over and over and over?
Well, all right, let me tell you.
Happened, but you've had so much stuff happen that you just waiting on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all ever had something like that, I've had one experience like that, and it's terrified me for years and years because it never came true.
Let me tell you, what you're talking about right there. As a child, I had deja vu a lot. I'm talking about a lot. And I would have, if I ever did have a bad dream or dream of something, like I said, I didn't have just a whole bunch of nightmares other than that one dream that I kept over and over. But I'd have those dreams where I'd have deja vu a lot. And like I said, it wasn't nothing. They were not like anything bad. It would just be somewhere I was at, something I looked and I saw. It was like somebody was like throwing a flash card up. Ploop. I've seen that. I just dreamed that. If you're not, I dreamed that right there. All right. Well, what used to kill me? Now, like I said, I'm fixing to be 51. As a child, I come up through the height of the Cold War, and our government and powers that be, the way they keep people to me in line is let's keep people scared and sensationalism in the news. Well, what was the top topic? I grew up being like, we're having a nuclear bomb drill. Y'all go out and put books over your head or hide under your desk, which I never did figure out that my desk was that damn impenetrable to 8,000 degree temperatures. But if I ever did have a dream about that, about nuclear war or a bomb going off, as a child, I would be absolutely petrified because I'd had so many dreams that I'd had deja vu from. And I was so terrified that those dreams, the really bad ones like nuclear war, that was going to be a premonition too. And I'm talking about crippling. When I'd have those dreams, it would just absolutely cripple me for a while. And then I would finally like let it go. Well, okay, that was a miss. And then it wouldn't be long if I ever had another dream like that. It would just, mentally, it would just absolutely cripple me for a while. And that was horrible. I'm talking about horrible as a child.
Now, I think y'all, I know y'all have heard this, and probably half the people in chat, but the one that terrified me was I was working at the jail, so that I was 19 or 20 years old, and that 21 right in there. My mom and dad was going on a trip with my aunt and uncle, and I had a dream. I was dreaming, and I was in my uncle's bathroom looking. My cousin, she was standing here beside me. I looked up, and I had a pink razor in my hand, and after the shaving cream, and I had this look on my face like it was like weird. And then Rachel and Mikey came out of the bedroom argued all the way up the hallway, shut the door, and then knocked something off the table. And this was, I don't know, 12, 15 seconds. And I woke up and I immediately thought, what circumstances would put me in my uncle's bathroom? I never go over there. What circumstances would put me in there with a pink razor? That's just absolutely stupid. Well, they went on a trip, and my mom was scared of flying, so she took out some insurance and all doom and gloom. Anything happened to us is what I want you to do with the business and blah blah blah. So it had me scared. Well, we stayed over there that like 4 or 5 days, and at the jail we had to be clean shaven, no goatees, no mustaches, nothing. And I was getting ready to go to work, and I forgot my razor. So I asked Stephanie, I'm like, hey, do you have a new razor I can borrow? I'll buy you some more. So we went in there and we were joking. Now I wasn't thinking about this yet. And she was said, yeah, I got you one. You might not want to use it. And she pulled the thing off of it. It was pink. And I'm lathering up here, we're talking, and I come up and I look up and I had that same stupid shocked look on my face
Well,
that I had in the dream.
you froze, didn't you? You
And I
froze.
knew right then, I turned to Stephanie really fast. I said, listen, Mikey and Rachel are going to come out of that back bedroom. They're going to be arguing. She's going to say this word for word. Now, I don't remember what it is now. Word for word. He's going to say this. She's going to say this. And I told her the whole conversation. I said, they're going to go through that door and they're going to accidentally knock something big off the kitchen table. I don't know what's going to happen after that. And immediately, here they come. The exact conversation went into the kitchen. Boom, something hit the floor, shook the house. And the look on Stephanie's face was like, and she said, how in the world did you know that was about to happen? I said, I don't know, but I don't like it. So Stephanie she's one of the only people on this planet to know for sure that, that happened. Me and her standing there, I got it out fast enough and it happened. It came true. Now, at that point, that was about the time my mom and dad was coming back on the airplane. And it really scared me because I thought it might be some kind of omen or premonition, something bad, might happen. But um, and now this is different. But that Lisa Smith just put that down there. There's been 2 times in my life where I've been driving down the road and see somebody I know coming at me, and them have kind of a light glow around them in their vehicle. And within a few days, this was a couple years apart, but within just a few days, those individuals were dead. One had a car wreck, and the other one had truck trouble and was by himself, and the jack fell. Yeah.
Right.
So, and they didn't find him for like 3 or 4 days, and he died of exposure. So, that happened to me twice. And so when I prayed about it and asked God to take this away from me, it wasn't just one thing. It was everything, and it slowed way down. But I have a feeling if, like Misty said, hey, read this book or whatever, and I started digging back into it. That's exactly the reason I don't get too deep into this, because I'm scared I'm opening something back up, and I want to understand it, but I don't want to bring something home in me, so to speak, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's some stupid stuff. I mean, I go on some of these shows and they'll ask about paranormal and stuff like that. And I'll say it, if this was 24/7, I'd be absolutely gone. I'd be in a straitjacket somewhere. I don't
Agreed.
like it. I don't like it.
Agreed. Yeah, it would be horrible, dude. Look, at this point in my life, if I had to go back and relive through what I did as a child with the dreams and the deja vu, man, it'd be unbearable.
Yeah, yeah. I think life gets
I would
you.
love to be better at it. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, but see, that's the
It's like a
difference.
while ago. It's like a
You're
while
built.
ago when you was talking about, when you're sitting around practicing your projection, and no, I ain't never done none of that, and I probably won't never know what you're talking about.
Misty, I will tell you this. I read this somewhere or heard it on some show years ago, and sometimes, and I've told y'all this before, but we got new people in the chat. Sometimes when I have aches and pains or whatever, and I can lay there in bed, and I have taken yoga, believe it or not, and where you clear your mind and you listen to the different frequencies, and they've got the sage burning and all that stuff. So
Now,
the relaxation. No, wait a minute.
Pause 1 second. Back up.
Roger's
Roger Williams.
meditating his mind.
Roger Williams went and learned yoga. Not yoga, not like frozen yogurt, but the actual yoga.
I did some downward dog and standing trees and shit like that.
Yeah, but now look, come clean, brother. You done it on account of the yoga britches, right?
And to come clean with that, there was a girl teaching it that I was single and I was interested in her. So
the truth rears its ugly head.
You do what you got to do. But so there's times where I can drop my blood pressure several points. If my blood pressure's up and they measure it, and I'm like, hold on a second. And I'll go through my steps, my breathing and my flexing my muscles and releasing and start at the top and go to the bottom. And hell, I'll drop it 20 points sometimes just by doing that in the doctor's office.
Yeah. I've done it too. They'll be like, "Oh, your blood pressure's high." I'm like, "No, check it again. I was just moving around."
Give me a second. Yeah, I laughed while you were doing that. So, hell, I made a mistake one time, and I got tickled while this guy was taking my blood pressure, and I had some stuff going on. I had a pulled muscle on my back is what ended up, but I thought I was having a heart attack. Well, you know me, I was in there joking, or I was. I got to laughing while he was taking my blood pressure. Shit, it was like 500 over 400 or something. It wasn't that high, but they threw me in the hospital, had EKGs and all that, and all it was I was crying, laughing while he was trying to take my blood pressure. So I don't do that anymore. But yeah, it's here's the thing that I do. So I read this thing about God's white light. So I'll lay on my back and I'll relax. I'll do my breathing, and it doesn't come right away, but I will picture it, and then all of a sudden there it is. It's in the center in my head, and it's white light, and I picture it moving all throughout my limbs, down my face, and all this, and everywhere that goes, I can feel the heat coming off of it, and I can feel it relax the muscles. I can feel it's all kind of sensations, and I'll carry it on down, on out my feet, and y'all, I know it may be all in your head or whatever, but it works.
Dude, I thought that was gas pains.
What?
I thought that was gas pains.
Well, it gets rid of that too. I can't wiggle my ears, Patrick.
When you guys close your eyes, like not trying to see anything, but just like if you lay down and close your eyes to go to sleep, do y'all see black or do y'all see stuff when you close your eyes?
That's when the movie starts.
Misty. A lot of times I can now look. I can't sleep until I'm exhausted, and I mean really because I don't sleep very much. But when I close my eyes, within 5 seconds, a lot of times it's almost like my eyelids turn into a movie projector. It's like like instantly, like I'm watching a TV show.
Yeah,
it's that quick.
Let me tell you what mine does, and this is I hate it because I can't sleep, and I don't know why it does it. I do the movie thing like you're talking about, and then sometimes when I close my eyes, like it'll be lights. Like the other night, have you ever seen those like Tesla balls where like when you put your hands on them, how it like pulls?
Yeah.
When I closed my eyes, all I could literally see was purple, looked like purple lightning. I was like, come on, I just want to sleep. I don't want this crap right now. Stop.
What you did, you closed your eyes too quick.
Over and over and over, and I'd open them and I'd be like, nope, there's no lights on. Then I'd close them back, and then I'm like, maybe I need to squint. Nope. It just wouldn't go away. But this is what's weird. Most of the time, I see movies, but it is like literally, it don't even make no sense. Y'all, you think the reason they call me squirrel is because like 500 things going on at one time in my mind, and I can't keep up with nothing. When I shut my eyes, I see all that. Like, but it's such weird stuff I can't even explain. It's stuff that I shouldn't even see, that don't even make no sense. And it's like it just goes bam, 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 flashing from one thing to another, and it's stuff that is nothing. It may be a damn dragon head. It may be a person. It may be, it's weird. It is like this stuff just randomly. It's almost like you put on like one of those, like, I don't even know, like something that'll flip pictures really fast, like where you're drawing it, holding it, like flipping the book. That's kind of what it is, but it'll go from like one image, just like.
So you're basically like you're so it's like you're trying to watch TV and somebody's sitting on the remote control and the channels are just flipping
in like super fast forward.
Yeah,
it's weird, and it's stuff that don't even. I mean, don't even make no sense.
Well, Carl made a comment about earlier. I believe it was Carl, about putting an ink pen and a pad beside his bed.
Yeah.
Write down ideas. When I used to write, wrote for this little newspaper. I had a column once a week, and I had other stuff I had to do, but it was very small. And I used to write. I actually wrote a movie one time, and it by accident, because it just popped in my head and it wouldn't go away. So I had to start writing it down. And the way my mind works, if I get an idea, if I put it on paper, I can be done with it. But long as I haven't done that, I can't get rid of it. So anyway, I would keep a pen and pad next to my bed, and some of my best thinking would be in that just before you go to sleep, relaxed state, and then good ideas would come, like for the newspaper and articles and stuff like that, and I would write them down. But also, they call you squirrel, but I've always described that as, for all y'all people, old people like me, the way the 8-tracks used to do. They'd been in the middle of your favorite song, and it'd skip over a track right in the middle of it, and it'd skip around. Well, that's the way I am. And oh, DD, y'all, there's so much, and like I'm scared to learn it. I know there's something wrong with me or right with me, but because it got so scary at one point, like Greg was talking about, it got so scary. I kind of pushed it away, I guess, because now as I'm gotten older, I don't know how to react, because I've had some weird things happen and I didn't react like I would have 35 years ago. So, but I still don't want any part of it.
Well, I was probably, I don't know, probably an early teenager, I guess. Maybe 14, 16-year-old, somewhere right in there. And it was over the summer. No, it wasn't over the summer. It might have been over the summer going into the new year or something. I know that it was weird because, like, I dreamed that my cousin was going to move in with us. And I was like, why the hell would my cousin be moving in with us? Like, I don't know how to say, like, you know how it is. Like, you got some family that would, like, come stay all night and hang out and stuff like that. And then you got, like, other family, like your family, and you hang out with them and associate. But it's like, why would they be moving in with you? And I kept dreaming this over and over and over. And I was like, whatever. It wasn't 3 months later. My mom's like, oh, so-and-so is going to be moving in with us. He's got a job working with your dad on the railroad. And I was like, what? But I dreamed it and knew that he was going to move in with us, but I just it didn't make any sense. You know what I mean? I was like, why would he even? And then come to find out he was going to be working out of town. My dad had got him a job. But the dream thing that I was talking about it not coming true, because most of the time it always usually did. I always dreamed about a drowning. It was a child. I don't know. I could never see a face, anything. All I could see was this kid from the back, and just see the hair. It was like sandy blondish brown, curly, shoulder length, little, like no more than 5 probably at the oldest. And it was weird because it was the same dream every time, but it's like it would be in 2 different places that I would have this dream. One, we were in a cave, kind of, I don't know, like river rafting, I guess, through like a cave. And this little baby is just face down, floating, and I just seen it standing on the bank in front of me, and I'm standing behind it. The next time, I may see it out here and it's out in the river the same way and it's standing in front of me and I never see a face. Well, when I had kids and my kids got up to that age, that is exactly what both of my girls looked like from behind.
Wow.
It terrified me when Sherry because we used to always go to the mountains and go rafting or go do something, take them on a field trip to caves or whatever. I was terrified up until they were like way older and I didn't have to worry about it near as much then. My uncle's girlfriend, they got custody of one of her grandkids. And this little boy was the cutest little freaking, oh my God, he was adorable. Same exact hair, curly brown hair. He was like 3-year-old when they got him. Right out here at my house is a creek, and it's deep enough a kid couldn't get out. I mean, I've seen a goat drowned in it before. There's no way he could have got out if he'd have fell in. I don't even know if the little boy would know how to swim. We had a bridge that went across the creek from each property to where we could go back and forth because that was my grandpa's place, and then our place was connected to it, but just divided by the creek. The bridge started getting rotten, and he would see me outside working in the garden. He wouldn't say anything. He'd just take off out the back door and just come over to me. Well, he about fell through that bridge. I don't know how many times. I finally went out there and just tore it down because I was scared to death about him coming out there after I had dreamed that.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever do what.
That might have been why you had the dream.
That might have been.
You prevented it,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know it terrified me to death because he didn't listen to nothing. Sandra was talking about hard-headed kids. I'm going to tell you right now that was this kid. Like he was precious, but at the same time, he was the devil. Yeah. Well, he didn't want to listen to anything.
All right, let me ask y'all.
I agree with Sandra. I struggle with it sometimes, Sandra, about having these questions and how it fits in with being a Christian too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is just an oddity, but when Peyton's mom got pregnant with him, we'd gotten married, and that's 3 or 4 months later, she was pregnant, and everybody's like, "Y'all gonna find out what the baby is?" And I would be like, "Oh, I know what it's gonna be, and I even know what he looks like." "Oh, you're full of it." I said, "No, I've known for a long time." And so we went and said, "You want to find out?" I mean, "You can if you want to. I know it's going to be a boy." "Oh, you're going to be so disappointed." I said, "No, I'm not. I mean, I'm fine either way, but I know what he looks like." And so, he was born, and I know they can hear in the womb because he was over there and they was cleaning him up and he had this pitiful cry, and I spoke to him. I said, "Oh, hey, little boy, it's going to be all right." Well, he quit crying immediately. And I knew he couldn't see, but he turned that head towards me and he stopped, like everything's going to be okay. And me and Peyton have been super close. My girl, I did know it was going to be a girl. And y'all, I know you can say, "Well, you just got lucky." It's 50-50 chance anyway, but it's different. It's like I knew. I mean, and I'd have been fine either way, but I can't tell you how I knew, but it's like dreams. You see faces, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
They told me my second daughter was going to be a little boy. Now, this came from the doctors. We had a baby shower for a little boy and everything. And I told my mom, I said, "I'm telling you right now," I said, it's not, I said, "It's going to be a little girl." I couldn't never come up. It was just weird because I couldn't never come up with little boy names or nothing like that. But I knew exactly that I wanted to, I thought I'm going to name her Layla Marie. And they're like, "You're having a boy." And I said, "Well, I had everybody get me greens and yellows or whatever, colors that I could use for either one."
Neutral.
I told them, I said, "I'm telling you, we had a little boy cake and everything, but I said, I'm not having a little boy." And when I went to the hospital, I took yellows and greens. I didn't.
Yeah.
I still went to, I had a little girl's name picked out, but I never even had one. Didn't even know if it had came out and been a little boy, what I was going to even name him. Didn't have a name picked out for nothing.
Misty, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, but the reason I'm asking, there's some stuff that's happened to me over my lifetime. Yeah, Gary. It's not a feat. It's not a guess either. You know. Um. So how many times has something happened? Like let's. I know I've tested it. I've had friends where will be. I'll think of something and they'll be drawing it. 30 miles away, and you'd be surprised how like close you can get. But how many times you've been doing something? I'll say this like. There's been a few times where I've been playing poker with my friends, and when the card hits the table and it's sliding to you, I already know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and pick it up, and there's that Jack of Hearts, just like that flash of picture, like Greg was. It is a flash. It wasn't like, oh, I was looking at it in my mind. It was a flash I picked up on real quick. It was Jack of Hearts, and then the next playing Texas Hold'em, the next card comes sliding across to me, and before it gets to me, Jack of Clubs. I got pocket jacks opening up, and boom, pick it up. One night we were playing 7 card stud, bunch of people, just like dime quarter. It wasn't nothing serious, having fun, drinking beer. And we um, the week before, I had at somebody's house. I'd had 4 jacks showing on 7 card stud, and you can't win no money like that because the big hand's showing. Everybody sees it. So I don't know what the odds of this happening. So I get 4 jacks showing the week before. The one guy that was there was playing pool in the other room, and I had a jack showing, and I said, "Hey Jeff, get in here. Tell me better get out now." You know, and now I can't see other people's cards, and I can only this happened a handful of times. So I was like, "Hey Jeff, get in here. Look what I got." And he's like, "Oh, y'all better get out now." And he's fixing to get 4 jacks. I've seen this before. Well, it went around, and for it to happen, it had to be perfect. The second card was a jack. The third card was jack, and everybody's flipping out. And I'm looking at Jeff like, surely not. And enough people had gotten out, it changed everything. That last card hit was the fourth jack, and we're looking at each other like the odds of getting that hand is one
Yeah.
in probably a few million. The odds of getting that hand back to back weekends is astronomical. And for me to call it, I mean, and somebody be there that knew. Um, like I said, we were playing dime and quarter, and you don't make money off a hand like that because it's showing. Um, I was surprised that people stayed in with 3 of them showing. But anyway, it's just weird stuff like that has happened to me. So
Well,
it feels like if it was nurtured a little bit, that it could be more.
all
And
right,
I'm scared. I'm scared of it. So
let me run something by y'all right quick, and that's good for y'all and everybody in chat. It's on a whole lot simpler scale. It's something that people have it happen to them. I dare say you probably have it happen a lot because I still have this happen a lot. Be somewhere, be in church, be at a funeral, at a wake where everybody's silent and everybody's sitting there, but mainly a crowd. When all of a sudden, you're focusing on something, and you get that old sense just wash over you that somebody's staring at you, that there's
yeah,
somebody that's trying to get your not really trying to get your attention,
they're
but
thinking
maybe
about you.
inadvertently that something like they're putting pressure on you, and you get that feeling. And what are you going to do? You're going to look
Right at them.
to see who it is. But honest to God, have you ever noticed that when you get that feeling and when you look to see that somebody's looking at you, you
Yep.
don't have to like look all the way around the room and find that person. If
Right at
you're,
them.
I dare say, if your head's down, when your head comes up, if that person's over here, your head's going to come up that way. You will absolutely, as soon as you pull your head up, you'll be eye to eye with that person. You don't have
Yep.
to look all over them. How does that happen? How
And
does that happen?
and you're talking about that same thing. I had a friend one time. He studied a lot of this stuff like Misty's talking about, and he said he was an older fella. He come in our store. He said, Roger, have you ever noticed like when you somebody's in front of you that you care about, and you give them a hug? He said you could give 100 people a hug. It's just a hug. He said, but when you give somebody a hug and you feel that special connection, it's like they pull you tighter.
Yeah.
Not you pull them tighter, but when you feel that connection, they'll pull you tighter. I'm like, you know what? I guess I have. I'll pay attention to that. But um, it could be the same thing as you're talking about. I know I've had it happen in the woods. I know I've had it happen on the highway driving and think there's something up and look over and see that cop behind that sign.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Roger,
And
that what you're talking about, that special connection when you get that hug, man, that it's overwhelming. And the only time it would be like if you was in prison.
and and from behind.
Yes, exactly.
Greg,
I mean,
you have
unless you're
a
working on
talent.
a honey bun trade, I mean,
Greg just has that talent to explain it in ways like,
Yeah.
but you don't want this to happen, boy.
Yeah.
some of us goddamn sweet tooths, Greg. Get over it.
That's what I'm talking about. Look, you know,
It could have been worse. It could have been funnier. It could have been ding dongs and ho hos.
this is true. Yes.
Was it fucking coconut with snowballs?
The only thing would have made it any better is if old boy had been like horribly diabetic.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Boy, you got coconut in your teeth.
Yeah. It's like y'all seen Zombieland where he's looking for the Twinkies and it's always the damn snowball.
Yes.
Always snowballs. Nobody eats. I love the snowballs.
Oh God!
I love
Man,
them.
what's in little one that had a whole box of them? Is it the Zingers? It's like the red raspberry with the coconut on them.
Oh yeah,
Those are
We had a
good.
box of them a while ago, and it's like, I got to step away, man. Oh,
Yep.
the thing's so good.
I have been so good with my dieting, and because I had to before I had my surgery, and I've kind of stuck with it. But man, you talking about now? If I was to take a bite, like a bite one in half of those raspberry things, I'd probably jump over the house.
Yeah,
The energy would be crazy.
yeah. That
Freaking lazy, it seems like, and I blame it all on Spencer and Greg. It's their fault.
my fault.
Look, have y'all ever dreamt so hard that you woke up exhausted?
Oh yes, sir.
That happened to me literally. Okay, listen.
2 nights ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Freaking okay. Whenever I sent you all a message about being outside and taking the dogs out, and I'm like, oh, my neighbors are out here damn messing with me. And Greg's like, when are you gonna learn your neighbors ain't messing with you and all that? Well, when all that happened, when I went, now I tried to go to bed early. Y'all know that, like, I was here by myself. Layla came home, but like she literally went to her room and went straight like back there. So I thought, well, I'm gonna go on and go to bed. I woke up 2 or 3 times like throughout, and I was so tired I couldn't even get up. And it was probably about 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, I guess, before I finally got up, and I didn't even want to get out of bed. I was so drained feeling, and I felt like I had worked all night long while I was sleeping, and I don't remember any of it, but all I remember is what happened the night before when I was outside.
Well, audio said, very intense and very real. And I don't know if it's a mentally drained, tired type or what it is, but I hate it. I wake up and I feel like I got a weight all over me. Like I can't move. I'm moving, trying to walk in molasses, and it may be an energy thing.
You feel like you've been damn rode hard and put up wet the night before, like the old where she used to turn her husband or whatever into a mule or a workhorse and working. Have y'all not ever heard that?
That's one of them Appalachian stories.
Yes.
I'm one county just out of Appalachia
right now, but
if y'all look at the Appalachian map, it comes down right at me, and my county's white, and the rest of Appalachia is like pink. I'm one county out of Appalachia, so I ain't never heard of that shit.
How in the world I'm at, like where I'm at in Alabama, still in Appalachia? How are you not?
I don't know, but I'm one. The next, all those counties to our east and under us is Appalachia considered, and I'm right there. I'm on the south end of this county, so I guess I can smell Appalachia from here.
Branch Ken. Y'all, look, Misty, did I ever tell you about my mother-in-law? I've got to get her to tell me about it again. She still kind of gets freaked out and can't hardly talk about it. But when I broke my leg, and I was in the hospital overnight, she went to my house and stayed with Colton Abbey. And she wound up, she was laying on the couch. She was just going to lay on the couch and sleep. And Colton Abbey was in their beds. And she woke up and was having sleep paralysis. And look, my mother-in-law is as good a woman as I've ever known, but she will absolutely swear on the Bible that my daddy came to her, walked up. Now look, my daddy had been dead he died April the 1st, and I broke my leg. I was in the hospital. That was December the 1st in 21. So from April 1 to December 1, what's that, 8 months or so, give or take a little bit. Anyway, my mother-in-law will swear that my daddy came to her and told her that basically that he was glad that she was there looking after his grandkids, and told her that I was going to be okay and for her not to worry. And he thanked her for being there with his grandchildren. And she said she felt him reach down and lay his hand on her arm. Now, my mother-in-law can't even hardly talk about this story right now. It's wild. But she said, I'm telling you, it took her a while before she would even talk to me about it. She finally said something to Wanda, and it freaked Wanda out. Then she told me about it. And she said, I'm telling you. She said, I don't care what anybody says. She said, I was laying there, and she said, I couldn't even wiggle a finger. I couldn't move. And she said, I'm telling you, your daddy walked up beside the couch and stood over me and spoke and told me and told her about, that basically that he was so proud that she was keeping a watch out over the grandkids and that I was going to be okay. And I need to get her to talk about it if I can, but it absolutely wigged her completely out.
I imagine. So tonight, you know, me and your dad's been gone about the same time and amount of time, and so tonight we. This is weird. This channel's still on right now, and they're playing early '80s music videos, and me and Heather sitting on the couch there watching them, and she sings and stuff, and we were talking about like, oh yeah, I remember that came out. I was this age or whatever, and I'm getting to a point. I'm gonna ask a question. And I typed that thing out on Facebook because our anniversary is coming up Friday, and uh, I like to do things a little different instead of Friday. Her waking up and seeing that, let her see it and think about it all week, and then whatever. So, but when I typed that out, the nostalgia is what I'm gonna get at. The nostalgia of the music started bringing back memories, and
Yeah,
then as I was typing that, there was a million memories flashed of my parents and times and what we were doing, and I got to thinking about that because I got a little bit emotional, and I'm like, what exactly is nostalgia? Is it I'm sure I could go and look up a definition of it, but it's just that's a definition, but how it makes it's a feeling. It feels
yeah,
sometimes it's really good,
yeah.
and but what is that? I mean, do y'all ever have in chat? Do y'all ever have that way that just come over you like a wave and just kind of sit you back and sometimes you smile about some of the memories and other times not so much, but that's one of the stronger feelings if you think about it. You got love, number one, you got hate, and to me in nostalgia that nostalgic feeling is crazy strong. It's emotion. Michelle, good, thank you. So it's so weird, and it's like smells, music, movies can trigger it at any time, and
Yeah. I
you
get a
could hear
lot
a
of that.
song 100 times, but then so is it the song mixed with three other things that kind of brings that back. You feel like you're there again. That's right, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean that. I bet you, Roger, if like somebody had some type of traumatic experience in a Ford Mustang in the woods and heard a certain song, it'd probably take them right back there.
Yeah, I mean,
I bet.
that's a
Mustangs are fun. I don't
that
know.
that's a heck of a poker face, Misty. Um,
Uh,
so,
oh, Iron Face there.
but
Roger,
yeah,
I don't cheat at poker. Can't you tell?
that ain't cheating. That's a couple of things that's happened. But anyway, um, yeah, I don't know, but it do some of us have more of it? Are we more? Because I know some cold, hard ass people that you don't ever think they ever have anything like that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa, you're right.
Yep.
Sandra, yeah,
And that, I think Roger too. That's
wow.
not
Hillary,
only just as
don't
an individual.
Hillary's gonna make me cry. Shut up, Hillary. Go ahead, Greg.
Man,
I'm sorry.
I'll smell cologne or something, and like from my papa or my dad, I've been out in the barn, now where I got goats and chickens and pigs and all that, and I will catch a whiff of what smells like Old Spice. Now, where the hell does Old Spice come from in my barn?
yeah,
But that's what
that's
my papa, I mean, that's all he ever wore.
Yeah.
yeah,
You cry and you smile at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Roger. Some folks have a ghost roast and bring back stuff.
If I'm going to have a ghost, that's the kind you want.
That's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
I hope Wendell's still in here. I told Peyton about that story. I think it was Peyton. I don't think it was Greg. Where I said something about yeah, first time I ever met Wendell, he had the story about that ghost roast about he'd come in, smell roast, nobody was cooking, it make him mad. And I think I told Peyton, and y'all know how quick he is coming up with stuff. He said, I smell a ghost roast. You better have some ghost beef sandwiches coming up somewhere.
uh,
Oh, me. And
Ghost
y'all,
beef.
my son, I didn't create him but I always joked with him, and he's been killing us all week with videos. And this app makes him look like an old man. He sounds like some of my kinfolk, but I can't. It's so bad and funny. We can't share it with folks, or I can't. Effect. Yeah. Did I freeze up? Yeah, there's Wendell. He's still here.
no
Wendell,
doubt.
we need ghost beef sandwiches. That you.
Michelle said I need to be more philosophical and less comical. Look, that's just the way I'm rolling. I mean, I'm rolling like that anyway.
Feel a
I
comical.
got look. If we was on a plane going toward the Earth at 500 mile an hour, we're gonna be laughing like damn it. We hit the ground.
Especially if we all get stuck together because we know we're dying anyway, so it's fair game.
Yeah, I'm going out laughing.
If y'all seen that clip? I saw it a couple nights ago. You know how stuff just pops up on your timeline. You watch it, and then you don't know. You get like 10 videos in. You're like, how in the world did I get here? But there was an airplane going down, and this one guy, everybody was crying and whining and calling people and telling them they loved them. And this one guy, he got on the phone, he cussed somebody out. They said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
He said, "Man, I'm gonna mess." He said, "Get on there and tell them how you really feel. Really mess them up. This your
yeah,
last chance." And they all did it. And then the engine started working again. Or
yeah.
they done called and cussed folks out and told truths and all that. Um,
Yes.
I've been in old houses, y'all, talking about the smells, and 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 then all of a sudden, get a whiff of an old style perfume.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a perfume.
That happened at LBL up in the graveyard. It was like a
Wow.
vanilla. I thought it was a perfume, and Debbie Jones was actually like, it's almost like a cigar. But
Yeah.
you could smell a sweet, sweet smell, and then you could smell like a vanilla, and it was strange. It was like a tobacco and a vanilla, and it was like a cigar after she said that, but it was almost like you could smell like a verbena or something smell with it.
Well,
You know, maybe that's what it was more than honeysuckle. Now that I think about it, it might have been more of like a old style verbena smell.
well, Heather got a lot of stuff from her former mother-in-law. They were really close, and her former father-in-law was not doing so well. So he said, "Hey, when she was sick, you packed a lot of this stuff up. If you want it, come get it." So we were helping him out, and I found a couple bottles of whiskey unopened in there. So I was like, "Heck yeah!" But she found her perfume, and I never had. She never had opened it in front of me, and I was doing something, and I pulled this box out of different perfumes in it, and it was a brown liquid, and I smelled of it, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I said, "What is this?" She said, "That my former mother-in-law. She called her name, and she said that's what she always wore. And there was a half a bottle of it. So I was like, Heather, you got to wear this stuff.
I got to
Well,
ask you. Hold on.
all right,
What was the name of it? My mom. I used to go like flea market and
let me
yard
go
sales
get
and
it.
all that, and I found an old perfume and I bought it, and my mom absolutely freaking loved it,
Well,
and it smelled
you
so
can
good.
still buy this.
Well, I don't
Um,
even know if you can buy this anymore or not. It was like called Nokomis or something like that, and it was brown and like a clear glass, almost like a.
I'll be right back.
You gonna go get it?
He's on a mission.
Well, I'm wondering if it's the same thing because she's talked about it for years, and I'm like, well, yeah, can you not buy it? And she was like, I can't find it
No,
nowhere. So I figured
my,
maybe it's just old.
my question is when Roger comes back, if we have a reality check and what he's thinking smells so great, this may be like an old bottle of wild turkey, 101 proof or something. That's what he's smelling. Man, this stuff smells awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I got some of that too. Um, no, okay. Now I'm gonna tell you the story. She wore it for a week, but see, that bottle was her mother-in-law's, right? So for Valentine's, I ordered her a new bottle so she could save the old bottle and not, no, this is Youth Dew, and it kind of smells like some bourbon notes, kind of, but
So you said
it is
youth do like Mountain
youth.
Dew, youth.
Yes, yep.
That sounds like some of that stuff where some of these people are collecting themselves from little kids.
I don't know. No, hey Mary,
Roger, come on, now.
yeah,
Come on, Roger.
what?
What do they call that? Where they what is
Yes,
it?
Hillary. Hillary's got it. Clinique.
Well, they
But
Roger,
that was
you were
her.
talking like this shit was like from the 1800s.
No. But
no
she,
I
doubt.
used to
Miss
wear
Burton says
Clinique
I knew.
happy. That shit ain't old.
Miss
It
Burton knew
was,
what it was.
it
No,
was
it's been around a while though, Misty. But
I'm just
we've got
kidding.
Heather collects old perfume, so
Yeah.
I've got some of those old bottles in here. Some of it is it's nasty, but yeah. So this I
y'all
don't
ever
know where they got used to get the other bottle, but yeah. If y'all ever get a chance to go in the store and smell it,
Well,
give
if
it a
that's what she
try.
was wearing when I hugged her, no wonder I kept hugging her so much. She probably thought I was a weirdo. Because I kept smelling her when
No,
I
now
felt like
she.
mine, and I kept going,
I
you
tell you,
smell so good.
I tell you what she was wearing then. It was probably a flower bomb.
I don't know, but she smelled good.
When I smelled that somewhere on something, because I'll ask women, I'm like, look, I'm married. I ain't trying to hit on you, but your perfume smells incredible. I want to buy something for my wife. What is it? And most of them take it as a compliment. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And hell, I'll buy it for her if I like it. So, and then we got pretty good taste, similar taste. But yeah, that flower bomb uh, cost me quite a bit, but it lasts a while.
mm.
Yeah, yeah. Heck, you can't get none of it for less than $50 for a little bottle. And some of this stuff, some of it's more than that.
You know,
And
I used to
course,
wear all kinds of perfume and stuff like that. And I got to wear now, and I know it sounds stupid, but and I do still wear perfume sometimes. I've got, several expensive ones, but I don't wear it much because I don't really go anywhere. So anymore, I've got to where I take my essential oils and the ones that I like of those, I just use those for perfume
Yep.
and
And they're
put a little bit.
stronger. They
And
smell good.
yeah, they smell good. They smell natural. Your body it just works with them good.
And it lasts longer too.
Hey,
Hmm.
look,
I have
that's
about 30 colognes in there. She and listen, she'll buy me something and I'll never get to wear it hardly. I'm like, have you got my cologne on? She said, yeah. She wears it so she can think of me at work.
that's the cool thing about the stuff that I put in my beard. Some of these beard oils. You talking about freaking awesome. Some of that like the cedar wood and the one that's like the spice. Oh man. Coffee number 9 perfume. Yeah,
I've smelled
That's
like
the
some
true
different
love potion.
breweries
that's
before.
what I'm talking about.
Hey, you talking about smells, Greg? There ain't hardly anything smells better than one of these as you fire it off. One of them 22s. That's a
Yeah,
good
that's what
smell
I'm
right there,
talking
ain't it? That's a
about.
manly smell.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, ain't nothing like the smell of burnt gunpowder.
Yeah.
Gary, let me tell you. Okay.
Here it is.
Uh, likes the barn. I do like barnyard smells. I can
Me
smell a
too.
sweaty horse from miles away.
Me,
That's so
I do
weird to
too.
say.
You know, you know what my uncles used to say. People are, oh man, I smell cow crap. He said, I smell money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: Have y'all? And I mean, I'll say this just because it's true. Have you ever noticed, like, sometimes if you are in Walmart, some of the women are like on up in age. I don't know if it's like my daddy. Like all older men lose their hair, and I mean, my daddy couldn't hurt it thunder if lightning hit him in the ass. But older women, do they lose their smell like sense of smell like old guys lose their hearing? Because a lot of the older women seem like that they like get the strongest perfume and then it's like blah 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 blah. Blah. You get behind them in a checkout line and you can't breathe. It's like somebody's macing you. You just like stagger, your eyes watering. It's like whew, we'll be in line somewhere and there'll be one of them come strolling by. You smell them from 4 aisles over. Wanda will look at me and kind of roll her eyes. She go, whoo. Then she goes, that's we call it Frenchy frou frou. And it's like somebody got the Frenchy frou frou, and it's like it'll take your breath. It'll be so strong.
But there was a guy that used to come in our store. Y'all, I'm not. I've I've had all this myself. So we lived in a place that had sulfur water. I'm just painting the picture, and I'm painting the smell. It
Yeah,
had sulfur water, and it kind of it turns my stomach, but I can handle it. But so he had sulfur water, but he in hot summertime he'd take a bath about once a week, whether he needed it or not.
yeah.
And then during the week he would take Jovan Musk and a wet wash rag.
Oh,
And so you got sulfur water mixed with Jovan Musk, which makes me sick. If y'all like it, that's cool. There's something's in it that makes me sick. And then he had all this funk going on. And I finally told him I'd carry him, like he'd help me do stuff. And I said, he got in the truck one day. I said, Leroy, let me tell you something. Dude, I like you and everything, but don't you ever jump back in here again if you ain't took a bath. Cause I cannot, cause you could tell it like about Wednesday, he would get that Jovan Musk out and he'd rub it all up under his arm and stuff, and it
That's
mix.
where you know if it's only one day a week, Roger, you plan the days that you're gonna take him somewhere on either that evening or the next morning.
Yeah, yeah, and I was taking a chance on making him mad, but he said he just looked at me and said, "Okay." He was used to his mama telling him everything, so I finally learned that, and I would just tell him, "Hey, you're gonna have to do this." Okay, it didn't hurt his feelings. He just
yeah,
didn't. He couldn't think of this stuff on his own. He had to
yeah.
have a little guidance. So
Well, if you got a booger and don't nobody tell you how you gonna know to get it off your face. I
that's
mean,
That's
right.
right,
I know.
that's why I
Roger.
always have you, check the
Roger.
claim,
This
see if it
this
got any fats.
this boy's name wasn't Dewey Cox, and he didn't accidentally cut his brother in half with a machete, did he?
No, no,
Lost his sense of smell.
no. I've got some stuff like Heather. She'll do the same thing. Somebody will come in the bank, whatever. what cologne are you wearing? And she'll
Yeah.
tell me. And so a lot of times I buy it, or we'll go and I'll smell it. Man, I really like that. And but half time she uses it up. I like see now with some of the bourbon, y'all. If you see it over my shoulder, I like I don't drink. I've got some of them that are cheaper that I'll sip on and watch a ball game, put ice in it, whatever. But some of this other stuff, I, I like smelling it and enjoying it. It's
Yeah.
maybe it's a little thicker or whatever, and a little more, and it's something you savor. Now some of this stuff I got, if I like my daddy used to say, he said, "Yeah, that ain't something you want to fly into drinking just regular because it's expensive."
Mhm.
But there's some of those smells that come through, like they're talking now, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but some of my favorites have the old leather, tobacco. You can almost smell the oak rafters, like in a barn,
Yeah.
and that's there again. That's nostalgic to
Yep.
me. That I remember being in a tobacco barn as a
Yeah.
kid and stripping tobacco.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like walking into a tobacco barn with tobacco hanging.
Yeah, and to me, that's one of the best smells. And then on the weekends, you'd have this tobacco, and we'd be stripping tobacco. I'd do whatever I could, and they would put sweet potatoes on the potbelly stove with cinnamon and butter in the aluminum foil, and have that stuff cooking. And oh my god, I just couldn't wait to tear that stuff up.
Roger
I
walking
can't.
around. Roger, what's that? What's that cologne you got on? Barbecue spare rib smell like
Yeah,
it.
that's yep. That's
White
high test,
sauce.
unleaded.
Yes, that'd be expensive, but it got some. This is diesel.
That's BP.
Yeah.
And look, there's some of the Avon stuff there all that was absolute. I like using these big words, but they fit the atrocious. Like when you're like, holy shit, what are you doing? And I'm
Hey, I
like,
tell
can
you
you
what,
smell that?
y'all want a good mosquito repellent or whatever bug repellent? The Avon Skin So Soft oil,
Oh
the
yeah,
natural or whatever.
absolutely. Ticks
And
and
I
everything else.
used to walk around as a kid like a little grease pig.
Yeah. Hey, hey,
Ain't
hey.
got nobody kidnapped Misty. She's slimy.
It works. It works. My uncle picked me up to go ginseng hunting one time, and he said, "Here, rub this all over your arms and your face and everything, and around your ankles and all that." I'm like, "Why?" He
You
said,
just
"I'm gonna
out
tell
here in a
you."
new damn nickel and slicker to pig, I'm telling you.
Oh,
You go to damn do something and especially if it's warm and you get to sweating, it's like it made it 10 times worse. But no, it worked.
uh,
But
you
yeah,
don't have to
I
worry
hadn't
about
even thought about that till you said that.
you don't have to worry about getting wet. Water just beat up and slide off of you.
It did.
skin so soft. Yeah. Oh, we went to Florida. Heather took me to some of the places where she grew up, and we went over on the east side for our honeymoon. And on the days where the breeze wasn't blowing, there was a little bug or gnat down there was eating me up. And we went and bought some eucalyptus spray. Skin so soft. I wonder if you still buy it.
I've not seen anybody selling Avon in years. Last time I seen anybody selling Avon was when I worked at freaking God, I guess Jeffrey Chain. There was a lady selling Avon, and that's been over 18 years ago.
But
Misty, they was two women that lived in this little town right here, had the pink Cadillacs. They sold so
mhm,
damn much.
No way.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those before. Now, so that the smells are trigger memories, and it's just like us telling stories. We get to talking, and there might be something I ain't thought of in 25 years. But Greg will be telling the story, and he'll say one word, and I'll just drop my head like, "Oh my god, I forgot about that."
Dude,
And it, and that's why I think that the back porch therapy, I call it, where we get around and talk to each other and relive memories, and two, you can you can relearn stuff. You learned it years ago, but you can forget it too. So yeah,
Roger.
I'm about half
I,
tempted to go in and get my colognes out.
Think about some nostalgia to bring back from childhood or let's say adolescence. Just think about think about the smell of like when you'd go to the lake or the beach with all them girls' nests putting on that Hawaiian tropic
Oh,
suntan lotion.
man,
Man, think about if you could get you a whiff of Hawaiian tropic right now.
that's hey. I ain't even going no further. That's one of my most favorite smells. The
I
salty
love,
air and Hawaiian tropic.
absolutely love the coconut body oil smell. I mean,
Oh,
You
I've got some that's probably years old on the back of the top of the medicine cabinet.
you ever seen a bird dog? Hey, points.
Yep.
That was
yeah.
me. That was me on the beach in Panama City when I was 13, 14, 15. I'd freeze up.
Over
My
making
daddy taught me.
a
He's
face.
my daddy said, here's what you got to do. He said, we go get some of them state trooper glasses that are mirrored. He said, you
Yeah.
move your eyes, you don't move your head.
Roger. Right, look, dude. Back in the early '90s, son. If it'd been like one wisp of Hawaiian tropic suntan lotion smell come across, it'd
Oh,
been like that cartoon Thundercats. Every dude's eyes would have lit up and they'd looked up in the sky.
that you're right. That's one of the absolute sexiest smells from me growing up. Uh, and we had a pool out in the backyard, and I don't think anybody used it. I
Neat's foot oil.
what was
Yeah,
it?
Nate's foot old.
Mary said, sent from my childhood as teenage years and hay and shoveling out the barn and saddle soap. I said, yeah, Neat's foot oil when you go to
Yep,
clean your saddles up.
yep. Hey, Roger,
Old
I'll tell
Olay.
you. You know, me and you've talked about people that's come up with some little crazy idea and they've got rich over.
Oh yeah.
What? Why couldn't? I mean, I would love. I don't want to. I don't want to invent something that's going to be worth like $1 million and sell two or three of them. I want to come up with something that's like $1 or $2 and sell 50 million of them. What? Look, you see all these people that finally come up with an idea, and then when they do and they patent it, you just like smack yourself in the head and go, why? Why did I not think that? What about Misty? How many times did you get tan and have the little Playboy bunny sticker on it left that little untanned spot look like a bunny on you?
Why would I know? And why do you even do that? Like, it was always the heart or the Playboy bunny. And even in the tanning bed, it's like, oh, you're not going to wear your goggles, but damn it, give me my sticker.
Yeah. Look, well, I'd like to be the guy that come up with the idea about the sticker. That's how look. They sold billions of them little stickers.
But you see, when you went to Panama City as a youngster, you never knew what was going to be in style when you got down there. You know what I
You're
mean?
right.
They'd have something like that. You'd walk in some of those shops, and everybody be buying, truckloads of stuff.
We used to call it going bunny hunting. We just looked around trying to figure out where the bunny was going to be. I mean, it was in flight. I mean, they went all that trouble to have that bunny. We figured we'd look. We was nice enough to honor. We would
You
look
knew
for a bunny.
exactly where it was going to be, where every woman in the world always put
On the hip,
They
on the
wasn't
hip, right
always
there.
in the same spot.
They were always in the bikini bottom area.
Yep.
They
Oh
were
yeah,
in the front or the back.
yeah,
They were there.
yeah. We knew what scope of woods they was in, but we didn't know exactly what tree it was hiding behind. We was hoping they wasn't a tree. The bush it was hiding in.
Kraken said, "Do y'all sleep?"
No, that's why this is sleep deprivation at its finest.
Oh me, my hip, y'all. I'm probably gonna have to. We've been talking for over 2 hours, 2 hours, 20 minutes. Ooh,
We've still got 64 folks hanging in here like rusty fish
I
hooks.
know, and if I could hang in there, I would. But I've been fighting. Y'all been seeing shifting back and forth. I feel like I have an oak block
I thought you was in a
inside my
rocking
body.
chair.
The what?
I thought you was in a rocking chair there for a minute.
It's man. I'm telling you,
Roger
I
don't
can't
need
sit
your
on it.
rocking chair.
I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
no.
I'm I can't sit straight up at a certain angle because as soon as I right there, it's pressure. It puts pressure on. I mean, I don't know how many spots this is hooked to bone, but dadgum,
He's
the
got his
different angles I can't do.
Roger, if it makes you feel any better, about 8:30 tonight, I passed me. I burst me a bouncing baby kidney stone a while ago.
What?
Yes, good
Uh-oh.
times. Good times. Started hurting yesterday. Started kind of round real far back on my side,
Yeah.
and a while ago, about 30 minutes after the show, it felt like somebody was standing on, like, kind of round in the front, not really like on my side still, but toward the front.
Crap.
And it was bad. And then it would cramp up for a little bit, and it would kind of ease off. And that's why y'all seen me. I've done drank 2 bottles of water and actually drank 2 Sprites. But it finally quit hurting right before we went on the show just now. So I think I passed it it's probably about 8:30, I guess. That's when it really quit hurting. I don't think it's come out yet, but it
Ain't
got
it
to where it
funny how like it'll go from like you feel like you're just about to die to all of a
Yeah.
sudden when you pass one, it's like it just the pain's gone instantly.
Yeah. Well, this one I hadn't seen it come out yet, and I may have, but I don't know. I'm trying to make sure I got everything flushed good. But yeah,
Well,
good times.
I know when mine came out, it felt like somebody jerked barbed wire
Mm.
through. It was rough.
Yeah.
Ron John Surf Shop. That's a old memory right there. Y'all listen. Get your pencils or pens if you want to be nostalgic. Any of you that went to Panama City back in the '80s, early '90s, there's a movie called Ruby in Paradise. It was Ashley Judd's first movie. She was like a teenager, and it was old school Panama City. And everywhere that you went, they shoot scenes there, and that'll take you back. Oh my God, it makes you heart hurt for the old Panama City in the old days. You know what I'm saying?
Roger, I'm let down. You mentioned the name Judd, and you didn't take your hat off. Spencer's gonna be mad.
Forgive me and all the little pygmies in New Guinea.
No doubt. We heard his feelings about the Judds. I heard his feelings about the Judds.
You don't get
Did
Lisa.
not love that defensive whatever when we talked about the Judds and damn Keith Whitley, didn't he?
Oh my God.
He got defensive.
I thought he's gonna drive all over here and beat me down when I said something about Keith Whitley.
The thing about it, I wasn't just talking about the Judds. I was just making the point that if I was sitting around by myself, the Judds wasn't my go-to music. I still stand by that statement.
And y'all know that next Night Owls he came on. I think he was just seeing what we were saying. You know what I mean? Keep an eye on us.
Yeah.
So Lisa, I do remember what's the God frequency? What's the number? Pyro can help me. What I usually
432
do. Which one?
432, ain't it?
Well, 432 is one of them. But there's one in the 900s. If you look up the frequencies, which one are better? I believe it was the God frequency first. But there was a couple more. I don't remember which one they were, but pretty much all of them. I think it was more of me relaxing. You know what I
I
mean?
listen to flute music while I'm sleeping, Indian like that, but the deeper tone of I don't even know what tune or whatever it's in, but yeah, I sleep to flute music. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
Tell the truth. You probably put it on. It's like rainfall and waterfall or something. But about 2 minutes after you're asleep, it probably goes over to like Metallica and just head bangs all night.
Yeah.
Hey, Catherine just put the Indian flute. I just sent y'all that yesterday. The Indian
Yes.
flute, right? And that you talking about as soon as I turned it on, if you sit back and relax, I may play that
That's
tonight.
what I've been listening to for a while. I've got several different ones that I listen to, and some of them's got rain and with them, some of them's got wolf howls and just different things. And I sleep way better to that.
963, Joanne, 963 sounds like it. That's one of them. Oh, me, y'all.
Yeah, that. Well, y'all, I mean, I guess we get out of here, but y'all, 68 folks hung in here. We're done up to 68 now. And look, Mary's got in here and hung with us too. So, wow.
Ken rolled over. Ken was sleeping in Alabama. He rolled over one time, woke up in Florida, and then it's how close he is to the line.
Yeah.
He said he woke up from a bad dream, and we're still here, or we're on here. Hey, that's a good idea, y'all. Go to the Woodwalkers page, and before I go to bed, I'll post like what frequencies do y'all listen to and why, and then just put them on there. That way we can go look as a reference.
If y'all got that's a good idea, Roger, because just like that, like we've got certain ones you sent, us one the other night. I've got some that I listen to and like too. If y'all have ones that you really like that help you really rest or sleep or whatever, or like if you use it for meditating, anything, post it and share it or whatever. Put it in the comments. That way it all kind of ties into one post. And that way we can share some back and forth with each other, because I would really love to find some really good ones, because I'm always looking for different ones to listen to.
Yeah, here's what I'm scared of, because I'm not real. Yeah, I guess I am a conspiracy theorist. I don't trust nobody. But I told Heather, I said, what if we're playing this and it starts out 963, but when we doze off to sleep, it turns into this subliminal messages and tells us to go like shoot up a donut shop or something.
I thought the same thing, Roger. That's why I listened to my flute music.
Makes me woke up wondering why she was fluent in Spanish.
Why did you run your car through the middle of Target? I don't know. I was jamming on some.
Well, the frequency told me to.
Misty woke up one day at Christmas and was singing Feliz Navidad.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Y'all, I'm not gonna have a show this week. Amanda's got to be at a conference and she's doing some things. Then I'm gonna be on with Mary Wednesday night, and then Joshua Smith Thursday night, and then I think some of y'all saw it. Heather and I's anniversaries this Friday and this weekend. So Hillary, you can Google it first, and then look up the frequencies, and then go to YouTube, or you can go to Spotify and type it in, and it'll pop right up. But the thing with Spotify, if you don't have premium, then by the time you get to sleep, they'll pop a commercial in on you, and you're awake again. So it breaks your concentration. So.
I always try to look because I know I'm going to be asleep more than just like 2 or 3 hours. I always try to look for ones that I know that are playing at least 7, 8 hours, but most of the time they're like 9, 10 hours or something like that, and they don't usually have any breaks in them.
Harold, I've tried different ones. 7645309.
No doubt.
Everybody knows what number it is. Thank you, Joanne. And look, the thing is, whether it works or not the way we think it works, or it just gives us something to focus on instead of this 8-track and these squirrels running around in Misty's head. It gives us something to focus our mind on. And then for me, I think that's what it really is, just to kind of get lost in that music or whatever.
We're going to put them on the Facebook page, where we can put them all in a post. It'd be hard to post them on here and tie a link in to.
Do you want to make the post, Misty, and then I'll add some stuff to it, or?
Well, no, it was your idea. You do.
No, go ahead. No,
I mean, I can. I'm just saying that.
Here's why. Because I posted a lot in the past couple of days, and if you post one, Spencer won't get on to you.
Spencer ain't gonna get on to you either.
No.
Oh my God. But my question,
I'll block
my
Spencer.
question would be, my question would be for the people that actually sit down and watch this show, even later than like live.
Don't let me forget.
I just like for anybody that watched this show and toughed it out to this point. Look, if y'all seeing this show later on, comment on this show and tell us if y'all had something crazy dream or deja vu, intuition, whatever you want to label it at, or if you let us hear your opinions on maybe reincarnation. I'm just kind of curious what the mass of people out there that's watching this, what they think. If y'all ever experienced anything.
Yeah, Gary, I said something about a list of shows. Gary already had it. Jeannie never answered wrong number. Did you put the wrong number down?
Yeah.
And I probably read right over it.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you. I have
Don't you-
heard of them, but it's nothing that I've studied. I don't know a lot about it, but I have
I
heard people
thought-
talking about it.
I thought for a minute she was talking about alcoholic records and she was drunk and just mistyped that.
Her girl kept calling Bob. All right, guys, we are going to go because I'm still not ate supper. I picked around a little bit, but I'm going to have
Oh,
to eat
Lord.
something bad.
Supper 2.0.
It's past my
Me-
snack time. I'm snackish.
Hey,
Misty can do more with hot Cheetos and out-of-date mayonnaise than anybody ever seen in my life.
I'm telling you.
Hey,
Yeah.
look here. Let me tell you right now. Now I'm going to throw it out there again. Flaming hot Cheetos and some nacho cheese. You thank you
Y'all-
later. Awesome.
Roger, at least 6 days a week, we got a picture at 12:30 Central Time, so it's 1:30 our time. We'll get a picture.
We're in there's my snack time.
Yeah, it'll be a bowl of like flaming hot Cheetos and who knows what else mixed with them. And I'm sitting here thinking it's 1:30 in the morning. She's fixing to eat that. I get heartburn looking at the damn picture. I don't know.
I get heartburn, trust me, but I don't care. It's
There's no in between. It's either so dang nasty I don't want to look at it, or it looks freaking amazing. What I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm like, it looks like a picture out of some magazine. Then I'm starving.
It's all gross looking at it, especially when it's stirred up. It's orange and like red and it's all different colors. But I'll tell you what, now I don't even like spicy food and it's so dang hot. Like I sweat the whole time I'm eating it and my gums will be on fire. Like that's bad when you eat stuff and it makes your gums burn and you still just keep eating it.
So
Hey, some of them pictures you send us, I don't know how the shit don't melt through the bowl.
and I know that's probably why she's going to the creek the next day.
Oh yeah. She always eats some ice cream when she gets done eating that bowl full. That
Rock
way,
coming here at 2:30.
the next day she's on fire and she's screaming, "Come on, ice cream!"
Oh man, I'm telling you. It's
Yeah, it's
yummy.
1:30 here, but Flat Rock done coming here at the end.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah, no doubt. Maybe
All right.
get sales for it long.
Y'all,
Yeah, there's 70
Get outta
people,
here.
69 people in here.
69. Wow. Guys, big love, everybody. Y'all, if y'all don't care, jump over and hit the like button for us anyway.
hey, yeah, we read those comments after the shows. We screenshot them and send them to each other. It's really cool to
Yeah,
read some of that.
we really do. We may not respond to every single comment, and it ain't that sometimes, I mean, we just get busy and don't go back, but later on we do go back and still recheck them every so often, even the older ones.
Yeah.
And we have a ball reading the comments that you guys leave. And we do. We screenshot them and send them back and forth. We're like, man, did you see this? How cool is that?
Mm-hmm. Then some of them we send is like, Spencer, read this. See what they look. This person actually typed out middle finger.
Spencer sent me. I was talking to him the other day. Y'all know when I flipped him off in that one video last year when I used Heather's fingers, she flips me off with. She don't use the real one. He sent me a video and he did that. He flipped me off with that wrong finger.
Oh,
God, y'all, I love y'all, but I gotta get off of here. I'm gonna go sit in a recliner over there now after this.
I'm gonna get this one, and I guess me and you'll sit and wait on Misty's picture of her whatever concoction.
I don't know. JR grilled some daggum pork chops. I got all kinds of food in here. I'm about to go just wear it out. Like
It
there's all
it'll
kinds.
probably be one of those amazing pictures now
Oh yeah, yeah.
since
I'll
Jr. Cook.
I'll send you the one that Spencer always loves of where I'm chewing it, and that it's like, guess what I'm eating?
If people only knew how bad that kills him, they would die.
Y'all, that is so freaking gross. I know it, and I apologize to y'all that you have to see that, but it bothers him so bad that,
Are
like,
you
I'm gonna do
are
it.
you apologizing to me and Greg or
Don't
everybody?
apologize to me because I think it's
Oh,
funny
I'm
shit
just
I've ever
saying,
seen.
I'll send it.
I,
Yeah,
man, I'll
Misty,
go through that. If you see me doing this, look at the phone. I go, my head snaps back like that right there. Misty's like,
Misty will have like she'll have a whole mouthful of stuff, and she'll have her mouth, and it'll be like a mouthful of food chewed up. And I reckon it absolutely it buckles Spencer's knees. It just like breaks him down.
He's like, dear God, will you stop sending me pictures of your gross ass chewed up food?
hey, Robert,
Bill
we do this
Rogers,
on
right?
purpose. We do this on purpose because if Spencer wants to come on, he has to stay up on Sundays,
Yeah.
and then it kills him because he don't know what we're
Spencer
talking
who?
about.
Oh man.
He won't come on anyways. We was lucky to get him to come on the other night.
I was
And I
Oh,
shocked.
and that because he's just keeping an eye on us.
I think so.
Maybe the Amish mafia will get him a little better burner phone.
That was after the judge dust up.
Yes. That little young kid hides the burner out of that phone.
When you said that the other day, and then you sent that video of that Amish guy.
Hey,
He got that damn phone in his back. God dang, that's Spencer right there, 100%. What? Wow. I wouldn't know the phone.
When I said that, I thought Misty is absolutely going to be on the ground dying here in just a few minutes.
Oh,
Valley
shit.
Parks, we appreciate you being here, and we're sorry. I'm gonna apologize. We're like this all the time. We do some serious stuff, but if you ever see night owls, don't expect us to be too serious.
No,
But join
Oh,
the
Malia.
Woodwalkers with a Z Facebook page. Answer the questions so Misty won't help. Misty don't let nobody in. Joins her question.
yeah, got to
But
answer some questions. Please answer the question.
just
Roger,
make
we
sure
need
you're real, not a
tonight.
bot. We try to keep the page clean, or she tries to keep the page clean, and it works. So,
I mean,
Y'all,
you have to. Golly, I had the SAS
spa-
page, the one that Sherry has. Man, I'm crying. I can't. My nose is running and everything now. And we were getting such vulgar stuff that was on there
yeah,
because it was an open group and we were just letting anybody in that wanted to join. You have to make this stuff private or you get crap like that. That's why you got to kind of scan who comes in.
yeah,
yeah.
and it's just showing. What did my son when we joined? He come in and he was kissing Spencer's butt, and Spencer he screenshotted it and said, "Hey y'all, look here's Peyton's getting in." Peyton was working him a little bit.
Peyton's learned
2:30.
now though that Spencer's a dickhead. It ain't.
Oh
Hey,
my God.
well they
We're the
just
fun
alike.
ones.
They just alike.
What
He can
cracks
be
me up
mean.
though?
Peyton
Right,
can be mean. I mean,
Roger, have you ever seen two non-siblings argue as much like siblings as her and Spencer?
I know, I know,
We started out that way as soon as we met each other from day one.
and he
Yeah,
knows it. And the thing is, he knows it don't do any good. He still does it.
dude,
But I don't
it's
get.
like
He thinks arguing with me is actually going to let him get his way. I said, Spencer, like literally, we're married, so you know how this is going to play out because
Sh-
he's my podcast husband. So
Show husband.
you know who's winning the argument here. I mean, I'm not going to stop, so he might as well just give in.
Hey y'all, so I ain't gonna say no names, but this is funny as crap. A few weeks ago, something happened with the group. Spencer wants to keep it all Bigfoot, all research, and I understand that. And he wants to be legit. I understand that, which it pretty much is. And so he said something about it, and Misty's disagreed with him. And it was like in the text, it's like you could see him like throwing his phone down and stomping off.
Yeah.
He's like, fine, y'all take over then.
The bad thing is though, when we first started the page and all that, and he had me start the page, I tried my best every way in the world to be the one to keep it, just like I try to keep my Sassy Squirrel page. I tried to keep it strictly to what it was supposed to be about and all that. Well, oh no, Spencer was wanting to have fun and this, that, and the other. And I would say something about, please don't post stuff like this or whatever. And I would have to catch shit from him about it. So I was like, okay, well, if that's the way it's going to be, then y'all just post whatever you want to. I don't care. I'm just here. You do whatever you want.
Well, here's the
He
thing
wanted
though.
to change it. So
Here's what y'all created, even if it's by accident. You got a good page, good people. There's not bots because they answer the questions. It don't matter what the answer is, just answer them, and then and just shows you a real person. We share stuff. We try to. If I see something, I'm like, oh my god, and I think somebody can benefit from the information about the subject that what we all talk about. I'll share it and everything, and sometimes it's old information for people been doing this for 30 years or whatever, but that's okay. And we I say I hate you have good interaction with the everybody, I guess. My phone crashed yesterday when I wanted to take pictures while I fish them.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. Misty and Spencer, it's just like Charlie Brown and Lucy when she's coaching him into kicking the football and she keeps snatching it away. He's going to keep trying to kick.
Every time.
Every time.
But, that's what's so funny because it was the end of the year and it was getting ready to start, into the new year. And I said, Spencer, and the only reason that he decided to even say anything about that was because I brought it up. So I can't let him take all the punishment, I guess, for trying to change stuff up. Because I told him, I said, right now would be a good time. We just had our 2-year mark, and if you want to change stuff up, you need to kind of decide on it and make changes now. I didn't mean go in and tell everybody, look, we're going to change all of it, and y'all can't be funny no more. Don't be doing this. Don't be doing that. And it's like, I said, Spencer, did you realize and I wasn't the only one, there was other people coming to me and I'm sure they did y'all too, saying, what happened? Like everybody just literally the whole page and everything just shut down for a while. Like there was a week,
what was funny?
2 weeks, people weren't even really commenting or saying anything. It's like they didn't really know what to say.
What was funny?
Like, we got this has got to change. Like we had a good thing going. Everybody liked that they could feel comfortable cutting up and joking around going on.
But what was funny, I think he said after the first of the year, so he put a time limit on it, and he'd be like, hey, I know I got 80 hours to post this funny shit right here, but I'm fixing to post it.
Yeah. Hey, Misty, can you pop Flat Rock's comment back up again?
No.
You can't.
I can, but I don't know where it went. Hold on.
Oh. I still see it.
Hold on, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, y'all, I'm hurting. I got to get off.
I know. I don't see it.
Anyway, Flat Rock's comment says, all right, you three created one of the best Bigfoot family podcasts on the net, in my opinion. Well, Flat Rock, look, brother, we're just trying to be us, and we want people to see that this is how we are. And brother, Ken knows us. And the awesome thing is, people just like old Flat Rock gravitate to us. And that's how we got where we are, is we've been blessed to have great people just like him that stuck in here with us. And that's what's so overwhelming to me is the absolute look, we may not have as many subscribers as a lot of these people, but for quality, they can't nobody touch what we got. I don't care who they are or how many they got. Ain't no way.
Because if you grow too fast, too big, you get the trolls. And another thing,
and we don't do it for that. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Just like people wanting to donate money and stuff like that. And y'all, like I said, we greatly appreciate that Jens would even offer.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just do it just to do it, just to get on here, just like yes. I mean, talk to y'all, talk to each other, and laugh and cut up. And
I want to say
even if
one
nobody
thing.
watched, one person. So what? That one person, maybe they laughed a little bit.
I want to say one thing, then I'm going. So many people that are non-believers or don't know, like we know, had things happen to us, and went and helped people out with their problems, whatever. They look at people that believe in Bigfoot as weird, crazy, mentally ill, whatever. Hopefully, showing that we're just regular people, like to have fun and normal people, and it, we can talk about all this stuff. And we don't pretend to be experts. We're asking questions here. If you can come in chat and point us in the right direction to when I'm asking questions about nostalgia and all that, yeah, there were some great answers there. We're not pretending to be anything we're not. And but hopefully some of the people, new people come in, can see, hey, we're just normal people, and we've had stuff happen, and Greg has to live with these things up close and
Yeah.
personal. And we're not producing TV shows, we're not making up stuff, we're not grabbing sounds that was recorded 20 years ago by somebody else and making videos and lying about it. We ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
If we tell you something, we believe we have already rolled it over in our heads amongst a ton of other people in this group. And safe to say, this may be a Bigfoot. This may be this may be this. So I hope that's what some of you get out of it. You
Yeah.
can watch all of us and know that we're not gonna lie to you. And we're not gonna make up shit. So that's all I can say.
Y'all, it blows my mind though at the quality of the people.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I can go right here and just read the names, and y'all, I mean, Gary Spikes and Mary and Catherine, all these folks. It's just, it's overwhelming to me. It's the quality of the people that are in there with us day in, day out when we do these shows. Drive halfway across the damn country to come hang out with us, and it's just overwhelmingly great people. Y'all, us being, I just hope and pray that y'all enjoy our podcast even a third as much as I enjoy just interacting with everybody else. This is more fun for me. I feel like I'm shortchanging folks because it's fun to me. I just want them to have part of what I got.
Yep. And especially y'all, with Greg being injured as long as he has, and this crap I've gone through, you get in a funk. I'm not going to use the word depressed. It's just you can't get out and go hang out with folks. You know what I mean? So this is the way we're doing. This is our back porch, y'all.
Yes, sir.
For now,
And that's right. Roger, what you just said. That's what we want. I guess that's kind of like what we've targeted, or I feel like what we've targeted our podcast off of, is we want people to feel like they're sitting on the porch with us, or around the campfire with us. We're not, I think it's better us not trying to play Mr. Professional and perfect and all that. That's the way I want people to feel. I want to feel like they went over to a buddy's house and we're just sitting around talking.
Yeah.
I don't know of too many things that we talk about that we don't say on here. I mean, obviously there's some because, we want to keep the channel, but
we'll get thrown off the internet. Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, y'all hear stories and things from us that we've already been talking about to each other. I mean, all of us.
Hey, it's like this. It'll be Spencer wake up with 400 something messages, and we've already said, you know what, this would be a good night owl show. This subject here. And Robert, I think he does know him. I don't know if I don't think they're close or anything, but he's close to the same area, so he does know who he is.
Yeah, we were talking about dreams and stuff the other night, and I was like, y'all, we should do a show over this. I mean, because we had all had experiences and had it happen.
I mean, the first half of the night, we
even got into vampires.
Yeah, we kind of stayed on the rails for what we're supposed to tonight. We've done better than we usually do.
We did. We did okay tonight.
I do have to throw this out there before we go because Barbara and Debbie and Sandy and all them. You remember how they all they didn't know each other and they started dreaming about they always had the same dream about the werewolf werewolves or the wolf or whatever, and they wound up like getting together, and now they're sisters of the moon. And I don't know, most of y'all know the story. If you don't, y'all check it out, and it's crazy. It really is how they come together. But I told Barbara today, I was like, Barbara, maybe I'll find my vamp sisters then, since you bet your wolf pack, I guess. I don't know what to call them. Like that's what they were dreaming about.
Oh,
I feel like I'm in the female version of Twilight here trying to describe this shit.
Oh my God. No,
if that's my vampires I'm supposed to get, I mean,
I love that movie. I love that movie. You got the wrong Doug.
So what we're planning for the next night owls, we're gonna discuss vampires, right?
No, we already did that, didn't we?
No, I said that was my dream that I had. I didn't even discuss about that tonight. About the reoccurring dream about the vampires. Remember I told you guys like, oh, y'all are killing me. Like that was.
I don't know anything about any vampires. I just have to sit here.
That was my dream, Roger. That was like the whole point of this, and we never even talked about it. Like
I'm picking with you.
We'd be smart. I know.
I think any vampire movie ever made, I've seen it 4 times.
Hillary, we will bedazzle the shit out of everything. Let me tell you.
Oh my God.
That's back when I was single, I was on a rant. I was just joking around with some folks. I said, man, it's hard to be single nowadays. I said, all these girls, they in love with these sparkly, cold dead guys and these guys that turn into dogs. I mean, I can't compete with that. But I did find a loophole though. Every time there was a 50 Shades of Grey movie come on, I would go to the late show and stand out with a dozen roses and some wine when it let out. And man, that was worked every time.
Yeah. Hey, dude, look, if that 50 Shades of Grey, if that dude been poor, he'd been in prison.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
He had all kind of charges up on him.
Shit.
Oh man.
I don't know. I was just dreaming. It wasn't nothing like that. That's not what I was dreaming.
I heard a guy said, yeah, they won't watch it, but they'll read the heck out of it.
Oh yes.
Man. I'm trying. We gotta go.
Look, John noticed the other day.
Hey, y'all, make sure you go check out Roger's channel too. I know most of y'all already are subbed and all that, but Squatch and Holler, go check it out.
Thank y'all. I'm gonna hit this little red X, y'all.
See you guys. Y'all have a good night. Roger, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. I'm sure we'll be texting in a few minutes.
Oh, yeah. 30 seconds.
Bye, y'all. Good night.